Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Lining, and Todd Griffin.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
That's not a Christmas song.
It can be.
I'm like one of those. I'm like one of those. I need to do one of those memes. How it started, how it is currently.
Eric is a Christmas pirate.
Yep. Pirate.
I got my Christmas bells.
I would say, what is that? A cat toy or just a pencil or a?
No, my cat doesn't play with toys. It's an ink pen. It's an ink pen with some bells on it.
As opposed to a milk pen.
Most normal cats would probably play with that. Mine would just look at me like I'm stupid if I did that to him. He doesn't have time for that.
Ain't
Nobody
got time for that.
Brown caddis.
I got brown cats.
What does your cat have time for? Like, what is his big?
I don't know, man. I've shared before. He was one of the most brutal destroyers of animal in the world for the first 2 or 3 years of his life. No, not anything. Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, mice, rabbits.
Door-to-door salesman.
Now he's the most domesticated, pathetically lazy
meow bag ever.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. No one should ever domesticate a cat as badly as what he has domesticated.
John, it's because cats are elitists. That's why most cats look at humans like they're stupid.
I often wonder if my cat even remembers his days of being a slayer. A warrior.
A warrior or a warrior?
Your snapper kitten back when I was 1 year old. I was slitting the jugular of moles with my claw.
Claw. Hello, Savannah.
Savannah.
Why can't I? Here with the chat. I couldn't find the chat. Still
Maybe he needs a playmate. Todd.
He's got a dog. Todd. He's got a dog sister.
Hey, dog sister, isn't that? Sorry.
Oh, trust me, Gary. This cat is very lucky because I'm not a cat person, but I like my cat, and that's why he's been able to live in this house. But again, I think it's done him more harm than good. He used to he would try to get out when we first moved. He would try to get out, and now you could literally we could leave the door up before going to work, and he wouldn't leave he would not walk out on the porch. I guarantee it.
He just entered his early retirement. Living the good life.
Exactly, Laura. We have two that are freeloaders, in my opinion, but I'm not the cat person, so. And she's not listening, so she won't get mad. Yeah, Gary, exactly. That's what you get for feeding them. And ours are fed well. You want to talk, Todd? You just described our cats too. Pathetically lazy. One's undercarriage drags the floor.
Oh yeah,
so rotund.
Oh yeah. Does yours have the what's it called, the primordial pouch or whatever it is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that actually has nothing to do with being overweight. That's just some cats have that and some cats don't. Yeah,
well, this cat didn't have it when it was meandering about all outdoors. Had it maintained in the house.
Yeah, it's. I like to because ours is a big cat to begin with, and I like to watch him from behind and just watch that thing literally Well, literally, if you could put it in slow motion, it breaks the plane of the side of his peripheral.
It's just like a fur pocket that wallers.
Yeah.
Wallers. I love that word. Quit wallering. My dad used to say that to me when I was a kid. Go quit wallering around.
His head's the size of I don't know. His head's the size
of a cat head biscuit
of a football. Yeah.
There was wallering, and my mom would say, "Quit pestering." So how does one pester? And how's one waller? Well, what's the definition?
Well, at least you weren't horse playing all the time. I spent my whole childhood
Or-
horse playing.
My grandma Liming would say, "Stop tormenting them." Like, what? You know? Ah, that's tormenting. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Josh, I'm sure the Indians fans have been joshing you in good faith. John's been my sub on radio. That's what he's referring to. Yes. And speaking of Josh, ahoy. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Arr.
No.
C.
Incorrect. Yes. Because his first love is the sea.
I'm having problems with these. These comments just keep popping up by themselves. Savannah,
that could be risky.
That is risky. Savannah, we have one who has no brain cell, and when he's in the kennel because he tries to eat the dog food, he hangs on the side with his head back dancing.
I'm glad to see that that's a problem beyond. Well, I have the reverse issue. My dogs like the cat food from time to time. I think they just hoard it because they don't want the cats to have it. And then, well, I get it because it's that meow mix. It's like surf and turf. Then I got dogs that have trout farts.
Surf and turf meow mix.
Fresh trout lunch or fresh trout dinner.
Yes.
Some birth
Come
salad.
on.
Without the car.
All cat food smells like cat butt. Surf and turf.
Both of my animals will eat the other's food if you let them. But especially since we put Heidi on the diet that she's been on now for several months, it's the Steve Moore dog diet is what I call it because he's that dog eats better than I do. Its food is brown rice, or her food is brown rice, some mixed veggies, some sliced up apple, some egg, and some chicken or turkey.
I can just see your wiener dog in yoga pants and
she's. I gotta say though, she looks good. She's slimmed down. She's svelte. Good for her back.
Hello, Mom.
Mom.
Yes, John. Yeah, come on over. I'll have some feline mignon.
Cat food is just wet cat food is just gross. It's just
sounds like a slur. Wet cat food if you stub her toe.
Yeah, I mean, it just disgusting. It smell and ugh. Like when my wife's gone and I'm in charge of these cats, they don't get wet food because I just can't. I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, like we get these things for Shady for Christmas. They're like these little gourmet. They're like snack, like just a little tin thing. Like, and there's no way to open it without sloshing the slop all over you. Oh gosh. Yeah,
I would vomit.
It sits in about a quarter inch of just I don't know what you call it, dampness.
Congealed.
Yeah, it's not even congealed.
Miasma.
It's thin and sloppy.
Ew. I'm about to vomit right now.
Vomit. Oh. I'm cracking up at Savannah's comment. She said that her cat's name is Aslan, and he's a ginger Maine Coon. I'm not familiar with the ginger Maine Coon.
Oh, Maine Coons! I'd like to have him. If I ever get another cat, I'm getting a Maine Coon.
Not to be confused with the ginger side coon. That gets him in trouble.
They have. I don't know much about cats, but I know Maine Coons have big old heads.
It was a slow burn joke, by the way.
They have big heads and big ears.
Yeah, I want one of them Aussie cats. It's like a domestic cat bred with an ocelot, so it's like long and limber, looking like a jungle cat. It's got the print, but it's domestic. But I mean, only because not that I'm a huge cat guy, but like just they're interesting. You know, it looks like you'd have an exotic animal, but I'm afraid they would smell like pee really bad, like that. They would smell like the cat house at the zoo, like where those cats just piss ammonia.
Oh. Yeah.
Now I'm in trouble. I said she wasn't listening.
I was going to say you liar.
I'm lying. Hi, dear. So it sounds like Vienna sausage liquid gels minus the good smell. Like, ugh,
Now,
that's bad.
oddly enough, I love me some Vienna sausage and some potted meat, but I can't eat cat food.
There's probably not much difference when it gets right down to it. It's probably just what species of animal the lips and anus come from, like probably hog versus like cow versus
Yeah.
deer, or I'm not even like being funny. I bet it's just
Seeing how
probably.
the truth comes out. So she
Yes.
says, "Watch a babe. I'll take out your other
That's
eye."
what happened. Yeah, Brady would probably heat up his potted meat if you let him. You got to watch him
I
Well, it's
absolutely
fact.
would.
fry it.
Some
He'd
micro.
fry a sheen of it, just sheen it off and fry it.
I'll have my micro meat. I'll heat it up in
Fry
the
a
microwave.
thick of it. Is that a word? A
Oh.
thick?
And I don't know what's more gross, that congealed, not gross, disgusting in cat food, or in the Vienna sausages.
I
think
can
it's
tell
about
you
the-
what's grosser: the cat food.
And I think it's
Because I
about
can
the
eat,
same.
I can eat Vienna sausages. I couldn't bring myself to eat cat food. Not when it smells like that.
Cat food comes from another European capital. It's like maybe, I don't know,
Yeah, it smells like
Krakow sausage.
smells like a tuna died during a heavy bowel movement. It's like the Elvis Presley deaths of tuna.
Oh man.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes,
This is our Christmas episode.
And you know what? And it was a year ago today when we did our last year's Christmas
Oh, really?
Really?
How
episode.
about
Yep.
that?
One trip around the sun to arrive here.
Here we are. All right, it's episode 181. As I said, our Christmas episode. Thanks to everyone for joining us. We have 11 in the room. We did have 13, so 2 people have already given up on us. Maybe just had technical difficulties, but if you haven't chimed in, please do. And if something tickles your fancy that you want to say, go ahead and say it. So we sent the historian on a journey onto
A technical
Rumble.
mission.
Yeah. Has he gotten back with you? Is it
I actually just sent that to you. That is a no.
I know.
It is. There's some clips from last week, but we are not live on Rumble yet.
I don't know why. I did put our second cheesecake reel on, which I will release. We are postponing the pie. That is what we're doing tonight.
Postponing the pie?
Postponing the pie. And that will come after the new year, the finals of that tournament. But I'll release that reel right before that episode.
There you go.
It's our
preamble to the pie that was postponed.
Exactly.
A little postponed pie preview, if you will.
For your pleasure. All right, so we'll have a couple Christmas-themed topics tonight. So hopefully you enjoy, as we are 7 days from Christmas. So
I got to finish up my shopping.
I have a quick complaint.
Quick?
You guys,
I doubt it'll be quick, but go ahead.
You guys have on hoodies right now. I see. We're all wearing hoodies. We're the hoodie twins tonight. The hoodie trio.
Hoodie triplets.
We are in the hood. But do you guys ever have one of those hoodies where it fits you fine, but the sleeves are so tight you can't pull them up past your about right there? Do you have any that fit that way?
Yes, I hate them.
I hate them too. I can't figure out what the point of that is. Like, again, it's not too small. It fits everywhere else. And this is an old hoodie. I mean, this hoodie's probably 15 years old, 14, 13 years old, something like that. I mean,
and I don't think you see those much anymore. It's that material, and it's like the coarse material that's tight, like you said, in that band area, and you can't put your sleeves up.
No,
I don't know why that is.
It's ridiculous. I like my wrist and my forearms to breathe a little bit, and they can't in this type of setup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, got that out of the way.
I can't do that. I feel constrained. And like the free flowing sleeves on this, I can just
There you go.
raise and lower at my leisure, at my leisure.
I mean, this is nice if you want to put a coat on over it. You don't have to worry about trying to hike your arm up your coat sleeve to pull down your.
That's true, because you got to get the sleeve and you got to hold on to it as you put your coat on. Otherwise, it slides right up your. Yeah, that's annoying too.
Every time I do that, I feel 5.
Did your parents tell you to grab your sleeve before you put your
don't
coat
you
on?
remember being little and like not figuring out how to, like, you were just annoyed because your sleeve was all wadded up in your coat, and then like your parents would tell you to hold on to it while they help put. Yeah, don't you? I remember that.
Do a proctological entrance into your coat sleeve hole to pull it down. Yeah, a retrieval mission.
And the coat sleeves were like the sleeves on your hoodie there, and you couldn't reach up in there and pull the sleeve back out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, 5-year-old problems.
So am I going first?
That's the way we got you here.
Doesn't matter to me.
Is that all right, Todd?
My cough. I have a bit of a cough. Yeah, I've had a lingering cough. I feel fine, but I mean, I realized that this candle that's burning has something in it that's making my cough worse. So I'm gonna have to blow it out in a minute.
The historian was returned from his quest. Yes, you did miss the talk about the fresh trout dinner.
The historian loves that story. It makes him chortle a lot.
He is the Zelda of the podcast tonight. He's returned from his quest.
And maybe that's what we should have titled the episode, Gary, The Advent Alliteration Affair.
Nice.
A Quinn Martin production.
And speaking of Christmas wordplay, that is my topic. We have all heard Christmas carols and Christmas poems and Christmas stories with words that these are words that you only hear about during Christmas season. And some of them are old, archaic words. And I've thrown together a couple lists. There will be ones that you're familiar with and just not really aware of what they are. And there's ones that have appeared in different Christmas stories and everything, but we're just not familiar with them. But they are firmly attached to the Christmas season. So I'm going to start you off with a very fun one that I have heard. I can't quite remember the origin. But the Christmas time word is ram-racketing.
I've heard that, but not having to do with Christmas. Can you use it in a sentence?
I shall. Ram-racketing is a verb which means to run and leap around. It refers to that special Christmas morning of hyperactivity the children's experience. The excitement of Christmas morning caused Gary to ram-racket around the room. Now, it says Gary. I'm not just saying that because Gary's listening, but it's actually so Gary and his ram-racketing. So, bam, bam.
That was
I don't know why. I think it's because the band's Ram Jam.
Yes.
Which ram-racketing,
Yeah.
they would be bam-bam.
Ram-racketing. I remember quite a bit of ram-racketing when I was a kid, right up to the point where my dad would stub his toe because he was always barefoot Christmas morning. Stub his toe, and then the fun was over, and you couldn't have any fun.
Because once the toe stubbing, the ram-racketing was put to the stop.
You didn't dare laugh at him.
All right, so here's a question. What is the difference between ram-racketing and frolicking?
Ooh, or horseplay.
Horseplay.
Well,
yeah.
I would say frolicking is any occasion. It's like blah, 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 down the hallway. You could frolic down the hall. You could frolic through the meadow. I think you could only ram-racket in front of the Christmas tree or in front of you know what I mean? It's a specific. It's an explosion of joy.
I think frolicking is more joyful than ram-racketing. I think ram-racketing is borderline aggressive. You know what I mean? Like ram-racketing is something knock it off. Knock off the ram-racketing before you break something. But you can frolic about.
So are people who are in a mosh pit, are they ram-racketing?
I think there's just that nonsensical too excited about Christmas morning, you got to settle your ass down. Like, before you knock the tree over, you know what I mean? Like you're okay. I'll give you an idea. I'll give you an example of ram racketing. So I got in trouble. Well, I didn't get in trouble. I don't want to make my parents sound like they were less than thrilled with me. And I think I've told this story probably on a Christmas episode where I got up so excited and I ram racketed around the house and took everybody's gifts and put them in a pile of their own pile on a certain, like a piece of furniture, to where then when the rest of the family got up, there were no more trees or presents under the tree. They were all organized already. I think that was an example of me ram racketing. I was so excited. I was just running around, not paying any attention to the fact that I was ruining that moment when you walk out and you see all the presents under the tree. That would be ram racketing to me.
My daughter Randlin, I think I have an adult version of ram racketing, and I would say that she said I ram racketed when the Bengals made the Super Bowl 3 years ago, and after it happened, that I jumped and leaped around, and I ran out to the decorative stone, my rock at the end of the driveway, and I stood upon it, took off my jersey, and was waving it in the air. I think I ram racketed that night.
I was ram racketed, yes. Yeah.
See, it's not frolicking.
No, you can't hurt anything frolicking. Frolicking is delicate and tender. Ram racketing
maybe even
borderline.
feminine.
Yeah, but ram racketing
Scarlett Johansson frolics through the wheat field. And I'm going to ram racket after.
Straddles the fence of, like, you got one foot getting ready to break something and cause some damage, and the other foot is steeped in happiness. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a family situation here. So Gary says, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that growing up. Jerry, his dad, says, I may have a video of Gary ram racketing. Gary says, okay, never. And then Gary says, ram racketing sounds borderline misdemeanor.
Yeah, it's overzealous.
Nobody's ever been charged with frolicking. You can't, like, that's
police
fine.
officer will not say, hey, you, stop frolicking. But they will say, hey, stop ram racketing in the town square in front of the nativity scene.
Well, think about it. Think about your ram has some negative connotation, and racket. Racket's a noise, an unpleasant noise.
Well, I guess I do have to give a okay. It's spelled RAMRACKETTIG, so there's no QU in it. So it's not taking one squash racket and ramming it angrily into the opponent's orifice.
If somebody beats you in pickleball too many times, and you're like, if you don't shut that laughing over, I'm going to do some ram rocketing on you. Or ram racketing, not rocketing. Yeah,
that would be you ramming your racket.
Yes,
ram racketing.
Ram racketing. Well, but if you put it together, you were ram racketing.
I still don't know why it's a Christmas specific word.
I don't either.
Well, it just, I guess it might come from some Christmas literature that references the children ram racketing in front of the tree. So there must be a reason.
Yeah, because you'll fool around and knock the tree over.
Yeah.
Then what are you going to do?
I think Eric's ram racketing is
it's a close up of Eric's paw there, right in your eye.
It's like my head is half in the.
Okay, number 2. This is just a funny word. Overquat. OVERQUAT. Overquat is a verb used to describe the horrible feeling of overeating. I'm pretty sure you could overquat at any time of the year, but it's pretty relevant to Christmas dinners and snacking. Sarah cut back on the sprouts to make sure she didn't overquat.
Sounds like a Thanksgiving word too.
Yeah. There might have been a ram racketing to get to the necessary room because everybody had overquat that night.
So is quatting some sort of synonym for eating?
It must be. It says it's Old English, overquat. But
I know, but like I'm just trying to. So maybe I'm trying to simplify it too much. I'm thinking over as the typical meaning
yes.
of over, and quatting is eating. So then, can we just say, hey, like you guys want to go get something to quat? Would that work?
Because I haven't eaten all day. I'm very underquat today. All right, that's a fun one. It's just a fun one
I
to
couldn't
say.
quat another bite.
Quatted Jobo. But anyway, so here's the next one. Christmas tide. Christmas tide. Christmas
Tide?
tide is just another way of saying Christmas time, but it sounds so much more poetic.
I've heard Yuletide. I've heard that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tide is Old English for time. So
Okay.
the night tide is the right tide.
The tide is nigh.
Yes.
The Christmas tide is nigh.
So
That's
the
very nice.
Yuletide
Is nigh. I'm
is
putting
not.
nigh at the end of all of it because they seem like they come from the same place, the same train of thought.
Yes.
Indeed.
Same Europe. Now this one is Scottish.
Crap.
It's hilarious.
What is it?
I've never heard of it.
What is it?
You ready? It
Oh, I thought you already
is
said it.
bubbly jock. This may sound like a magical Harry Potter critter or a disease, but it's actually a standard male turkey. Bubbly jock is the Scottish term for it, and it's delightful. Mama roasted our bubbly jock to perfection, she did. You know,
Bubbly
we
jock
had it
sounds like
with-
something you.
Had it with our haggis.
yes.
Bubbly jock sounds like something you'd go get some salve at Cartwright's for
With some ointment for
a case of the bubbly jock.
it does.
I was walking bow-legged because I had the bubbly jock.
Oh, but it's just a male turkey, which makes me wonder from Old Scottish. I wonder what the female turkey is. And no, don't even try. We'll get canceled. I don't even want to try. Okay.
I'll text it.
For $9.99, you can be part of the Play It by Ear podcast group text. No, I'm kidding.
Sent.
All right. I don't know. And Gary, that's exactly what I was thinking. All right. Anyway, Gary, just forewarning, for some reason they're using Gary in all of these. But anyway, this word is hogamadog. You can't make a snowman without first making a hogamadog. It's a giant ball of snow. And when you roll a small snowball around the ground for long enough, so with that action of rolling it into a large snowball is making a hogamadog. And the sentence being, Gary's impressive snowman started with a hogamadog and a dream.
So is there a certain size requirement to be a hogamadog?
It just says the definition is a giant ball of snow you get when you roll a small snowball around. So you start off with the seed snowball. You put it in the snow and you roll it around to use its attractive force and to
So
make
it's
a hogamadog.
It's a small snowball, a hogamapup.
Ah,
Nice.
nicely done.
But here's the thing: like, who uses those kind? Like, it'd be fun to do. You're out playing in the snow and you just walk by a group of kids who have made a snowman. And like, there's a couple hogamadogs if I've ever seen them. I mean, like, how do these words go out of use? Because they're fun.
They're fun.
They're interesting.
Need to bring them back.
Yeah. How did hogamadog just turn into snowball?
I mean, it would have to snow enough around here to get a hogamadog first.
Yeah, we haven't been hogamadogged in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Sounds painful.
Yeah. I'm not sure I want to be hogamadogged. Okay, the next one is it's going to be two words that you recognize.
You guys know, real quick, do you notice something in the chat window? Does anybody notice that the messages disappear? Like, it's weird because Well, yeah, like if I'm looking, was happening last week too. Like Jerry had a comment about Tide and said no laundry on Christmas, and now that's gone. And then are you guys doing that? Keep an eye on your chat as you go.
I shall.
See if yours is doing it.
Are you ready for the snow broth?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that vile mixture of slush, snow, and water that causes catastrophe in the streets? In Shakespearean times, it was known as snow broth. It's usually silvery gray in color. We call it slush, but the Shakespearean term is snow broth.
Interesting.
It kind of sounds gross, though.
Gotta watch that yellow snow broth.
Yes. Yes. Don't want no hog-a-dogs with that.
Well, that hog of a dog created some yellow snow broth with its ram racketing.
I told you this is going to be fun. I haven't got to a lot of the good ones yet.
I'm trying to make sentences with every word you say all together. So the hog of a dog was ram racketing.
There was a lot of ram racketing because the children found yellow snow broth while hog-a-dogging. So the next one is crawl massing. CRAW massing. Crawl massing. Once you've finished your Christmas meal and you're feeling ridiculously overquat, you want to do some spot of crawl massing. That is to stay tidying up the leftover food and eating scraps of it as you go. So
it's like your crawl, not like crawling, crawl, like
a crawl.
Stuck in your craw.
Stuck in your craw, yeah.
So crawl massing. So basically, after the Christmas spread table, the meals have come and gone, and you're doing some drive-by picking. That sliver of ham you're walking by is like, oh, I'll grab that. Oh, So crawl massing is kind of like strategically hitting as you walk by scraps of leftovers.
Yeah. Crawl massing leads to crop dusting.
And also overquat.
So what is the current word for crawl massing?
I like
grazing.
Grazing, yeah, there you go.
Table snipering. Scrap sniper.
Snip whipping.
So Gary has made his own sentence. Gary can barely cook snow broth.
Oh, man. Now, okay, everybody has heard of wassail, or most of us have. It's like a mulled wine and juice. It's like apple juice and wine and spices. It's a, I remember one of our friends making wassail one time, but the verb of wassailing, another verb for you, but this time it's alcoholic. Wassailing is when you go door to door singing and offering a drink from the wassail bowl.
Yeah, isn't there a song? Isn't there a
Yes.
song? Come wassailing with me, or go wassailing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brady. Sorry, I'm gonna look it up.
So sorry, it's a huge pot of hot spiced wine or beer in exchange for money. Nowadays, we just do caroling, which seems far more boring by comparison. So you knock on the door, and he's like, "Hey, we're wassailing. You're going door to door and offering liquid cheer from the wassail bowl."
So you're selling drinks from the wassail bowl.
Yeah. Now I don't. So I guess I assume Christmas time you would like in exchange for money. Okay, I just thought it'd be like, hey, have some cheer. Which, but I guess it is, you knock on their door and, did carolers get tipped back in the day?
I don't know.
Are you ready? You've heard this song.
Yes.
Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves so green. Oh, here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
That's exactly how they're singing it.
Then they're making spaghetti mouth though. Oh man. So
Our wassail cup is made of the rosemary tree, and so is your beer of the best barley. There you go. Here, I'll go real quick. Here we come a wassailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you and to your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God sends you a happy new year. Our wassail cup is made of the rosemary tree, and so is your beer of the best barley. We are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are neighbors' children whom you have seen before. Call up the butler of this house, put on his golden ring. Let him bring us up a glass of beer, and better we shall sing. We have got a little purse of stretching leather skin. We want a little of your money to line it well within. Bring us out a table and spread it out with a cloth. Bring us out moldy cheese and some of your Christmas loaf.
No, thank
God
you.
bless the master of this house, likewise the mistress too, and all the little children that round the table go. Good master and good mistress, while you're sitting by the fire, pray think of us poor children who are wandering in the mire.
I thought I was going to say wandering in the Shire, but
Moldy cheese.
yeah, I'm not going to put blessings on the master's house. If he gives me moldy cheese, it's going to turn into a trick or treat thing. I'm going to do unpleasant things to his house.
Do you know what the line that got me is what every band has used, every cover band has used about the whole like the drunker
more
you
you
get, the better we
drink.
sound.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what
Yeah.
they were saying. But call up the butler of this house, put on his golden ring, let him bring us up a glass of beer, and better we shall sing.
See, I thought he was saying they sang better when they were drunk.
Well, it's just flipping it. I mean, it's like if
Yeah,
no matter if you're singing better or they hear it, they think you're singing better. It's the same result.
true.
Okay. So on to I've got multiple sources.
That's the first one I've heard of. I was gonna say that's the first. Wassailing is the first word you've said that I've heard of.
Yeah, and wassail is actually pretty tasty. It's like a mulled one. It's very pleasant. Okay.
Hang on a minute, though. Hang on. What?
Hold on.
You're referring to wassail as a drink. This is referring to wassail as a song, a carol, like a Christmas carol. So I think we have two different.
Well, wassail is the drink. Wassailing is the verb going door to door offering it for money. So if I may make a comparison, if we were offering Pepsi, we would be Pepsiing. So wassail is wassailing.
Mountain Dewing.
Mountain Dewing. So
Dr.
don't put my
Peppering.
mountain don't.
Starring.
All right. This one comes from Mental Floss.
Squirting.
Oh, that comes from overquadding.
Yoo-hooing.
There you go.
Sorry. Now I'm just
Okay.
every drink ever known to man is like going through my head right now.
Juice boxing.
Juice boxing.
That's my girl.
Oh, Savannah already said that. I thought Eric
Yes.
said that.
No,
Sorry. Sorry.
Savannah said that.
All right. So for Mental Floss, these archaic continued words of Christmas, a peck of apples. This Lincolnshire, England word for full is to fall on ice, is one you'll want to keep handy. So if you fall on ice, you've had a peck of apples.
So you're peckering.
Yeah, I'm not. So yeah, so if you slip and fall on the ice, it's I've had a peck of apples today. That sounds like a nice euphemism. You didn't want to say you busted your buns.
Well,
or
I thought
crushed
that
your. You just had a peck of apples.
I thought a peck was a measurement.
It's probably a measurement of pain.
Oh, it's
Peter
a peck,
Piper.
like Peter Piper picked a peck.
Yes. But you've just picked a peck of apples, which is a euphemism for a high content of pain. I'm just guessing here. All right. This next word's fun, and I challenge you all to use this in the next few weeks as the weather gets bad. But there's actually a word for the crunching sound you make while walking on partially frozen snow. It's called crumping. So if
that
one
like-
crumps, they're, the crunching sound you make on snow.
Is that like Crumpus?
It's Krampus, isn't it?
Oh, it is
Or is it
Krampus.
Krampus? I don't know. It might be
Yeah,
Krampus.
I think it is
Krampus or
Krampus.
Krampus
Krampus.
is his
I think it
cousin.
is
It's too loud to be
Krampus.
sneaky. That daggone it. Don't worry, it's Krampus. I hear him coming from a mile away.
By the way, a peck is equal to 8 dry quarts. In case you were wondering.
So if you pick a peck of pickled peppers, you picked 8 dry quarts of peppers,
Exactly.
which doesn't fit the alliteration. Peter Piper picked 8 dry quarts of peppers. Doesn't have the ring to it.
This sounds overly
Peter Piper.
specific.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay. Okay, I love this word. Hibernate. Hiemate. To hibernate means sleeping through the entire winter. To hibernate is to spend winter somewhere else. So, like if one goes to Fort Myers for the winter, you're hibernating.
High mate.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Hi, mate. That's just not like
Hi, mate.
Hi, mate. Hi,
good
mate.
good A, mate.
Yeah. Hi, mate.
Oh, ahoy, matey.
Aha.
Savannah. Savannah, you said it. I didn't. I'll read it and attribute it to you. Savannah says Krampus equals every woman who's PMSing. That was not me.
Oh,
Gary-
prepare yourselves for this one, gentlemen.
And Gary says, here, crumps. Santa Claus."
Crump Santa Claus here. Crump Santa Claus.
Oh. Ooh.
Please tell me Scallywag is on this list.
I hope so. Because especially with this. Okay. This is the hole you need to move your belt to after you've eaten a massive meal. You've moved it to the Yule hole.
Oh, I figured a Yule hole was involved after you eat a massive meal, but I didn't think it had to do with the belt.
Maybe a Yule log involved. But anyway.
Where does a Yule log come from?
Well,
You won't.
yeah. So when you have
That's
to
hard
like
to say. Yule hole.
hole.
Must alliterate.
Yeah. That sounds like just something like just somebody drunk would come up with. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound official.
Hey, stick it in the Yule hole.
That's when you call somebody who doesn't give you the gift you want. Man, what a Yule hole. Oh.
Super Dave
Super
Dave.
uses the word
frontistery.
frontistery. A lot of words.
Prawns.
Prawns. When I let
History.
people know I'm heading to the bathroom. Prontistery. I'm headed. Is the prontistery the room or the action?
A place for thinking.
Going to go perform prontistery.
Careful when doing your belt from the Yule hole.
And it was taken, so you had to do some crumping out to the pine tree in the back.
Typically, I think you have to make your own Yule hole in a belt. I think once you run out of the pre-positioned holes, you gotta use a punch.
The pre-slugged hole.
Yeah, you gotta use a punch and make a Yule hole. You gotta punch a Yule hole in that
You
thing.
need an awl. You'll have to use a Yule awl. Instead of y'all, it's a Yule awl.
An AWL.
That is
our the Christmas time and Christmas script. Florence, Yule awl.
that is our dad's generation right there. They all know what an awl is, but I bet nobody younger than us knows what an awl is.
I only know what an awl is because it was in a reading book story in like 3rd grade.
Oh, I
It
figured
is
you would
one
have
of
heard
our
that from your dad.
vocabulary words.
Yeah, your dad asked me like hand him the awl, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I think I
Okay.
injured myself with an all once. Does it have any
Shock
other
awl.
shaman charge? Shock and all.
So
Does it have any other use other than poking holes in belts?
No, it's a Yule hole poke. Yule hole poker. That's what the name should be.
it should be. So we're all going to be doniferous this season. And doniferous is if you're carrying presents to give. So if you're carrying the present, you are doniferous. The present that you're offering is called an oblation.
Ah, doniferous sounds like an STD.
I was thinking it sounded like some kind of pine tree, like some kind of tree category. We got the coniferous trees, the deciduous here, and we got the doniferous ones over here. Spoken like a science teacher.
Spoken like a drunk science teacher.
Doniferous.
Doniferous.
Well, that pine cone hit you. I think doniferous. So, I got to make sure I say this right. Okay. Gratuities, a tip or a donation of cash intended to be spent on holiday drinking. It comes from the French of pouboire. So the tip you give to get your wassail is the pouboire.
The pouboire tip.
Yes.
The pouboire tip. So that sounds French. Did you say it was French? Okay.
It is French.
Pouboire.
Go get the pouboire from my boudoir.
Yeah, so I can buy some poupon.
Oh.
Some Dijon poupon.
Dijon. A cheap and totally useless present? In 1940s slang, it was a toe cover.
Toe cover?
The toe cover. That was a euphemism for a cruddy gift.
Well, you know why? Because you got 9 more toes. So what? How do you? If you just get one toe cover, how does that help you? Which toe do you pick? You can't pick a favorite toe. It's like picking a favorite kid.
Yes. There's always a big one and always a little one and always a middle one. You got to pick one.
Well, and one size can't fit all, because if you get one big enough to fit your big toe, then it's going to be loosey-goosey on the pinky toe.
And then it's going to cut off your circulation if it's on the,
Yeah, if it's loosey-goosey on the pinky toe, it'll cause a blister.
Which will cause you to crump along painfully.
Super
Jerry and Andy were sharing a thought pattern there.
Exactly.
Today
we call that socks.
No, see, because it was just a toe cover. Toe. Socks would be toes cover or toe covers.
Not toe covers, toes cover.
What? So, and back to the old question, why is it a shirt but a pair of pants?
Right.
That is true. The next one.
Because there's 2 leg holes, but there's 2 arm holes in a shirt and a neck hole.
Exactly.
These are, yes, I have no idea.
I don't either.
Speaking of French, we did learn that they call it a pant in French, but you get your hairs cut, which makes total sense. Yeah. So we say a pair of pants. Hey, I'm going to go get my hair cut. Just one. The French say multiple hairs, which would be correct.
Yeah.
So they got that going for them.
You know, Chris asked a good question. Do you think that the toe cover would have helped Cotton Eye Joe? I know one thing. Had he had a toe cover, he'd been married a long time ago.
And we would all know from whence he came and where he went.
I don't think the toe cover would have helped Cotton Eye Joe, because it's not his name wasn't Cotton Toe Joe.
Why was his eye cotton?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe an eye cover would help him. Maybe Eric's eye cover would help Cotton Eye Joe.
Could be.
Yes.
And just as a side note, those memes crack me up with that guy that's that I don't know what you call him, the old English guy. Well, from whence did Cotton Eye Joe?
The one that's going like this. He's got a big hat on his nose. Yeah. Oh, those are great. I think my favorite one was the safety dance one.
What did it say?
I'll have to look it up. It's too wordy to pull out. I'll find it later.
I think these toe socks. Everybody, you used to own some of the toe shoes. I know that.
Yeah, I did try those out because they were supposed to be like really good for some bad feet, but it was quite the opposite.
Yeah.
But I thought it. But yeah, I would say somewhat comfortable for like lounging around the house, but any walking of any distance, it was a misery.
See, I don't have enough patience to drive each toe into the little toe cover, the little toe holes.
Don't think of it as driving them in. They're parking. You're parking each one.
Yeah, but unless you have great toe control, unless you have a 5-span toe control, then you're having to you're having to use your hand to put a toe into its parking spot. There's no way you just slap them on.
Wait a minute. I gotta find the word. Oh gosh, I just had it. You would be metatarsally enhanced.
I don't know. To me they always looked impossible without some oil of some sort. They slip them onto your feet and do they make like toe oil you can put on to slide them in there?
Toe oil.
It dries up once you put them on.
I don't know. They might have something like that in Kentucky. They make some jelly for that. So
Kentucky jelly.
Yeah.
Richard's from Kentucky. Richard, I don't have patience for that for sure. That was my problem with him, Richard. I would never have. I didn't like putting on like the real tight.
That's
it. So I'll read it. You may dance if you fancy it. You might also leave of your companions, for if those companions shall not dance, then they shan't be companions.
You forgot you might also take leave of your companions.
Oh, yes,
take leave of your
take leave.
Take leave of town.
Oh,
the one for Baby Got Back's pretty funny too.
Oh, mercy.
All right.
You guys are going off the rails here.
Yeah, we're going off the rails.
She's kicking in.
Just a couple.
Savannah loves toe socks.
Well, these were toe shoes, Savannah. You might have caught that, but like it hit different. It kind of hit different, but I tried them once and I liked them for a red hot minute. Then definitely in the dustbin of history. Not only they were ridiculous looking, but they didn't function like they were supposed to.
So Gary's got the answer right there. Needs foot oil. Yes, that's what it says on the tag of those toe socks. They need foot oil to use.
KNEADS.
Foot oil.
Man. How about, will you guys receive any xenium this Christmas season? Xenium is a gift given to a house guest or a gift given by a guest to the house owner. So if you were hosting a party, you would be brought xenium. It's pretty fancy.
I always thought a housewarming gift was a weird idea. I think it should be the opposite. I think you should have to if people are coming to your party, you should have to give them a gift. They're the ones coming to your party.
But I think,
I mean, if I invite 10 people to my house and then they all show up bringing gifts, I got 10 gifts and they did all the work. They came to the party, so they should get the gifts.
But you're opening up your house to them.
True.
You're providing the venue.
But they're doing you a favor by coming to your. Otherwise, it would be an empty house.
Well, see, I look at it as the opposite. Like you're throwing it. You're the DJ and they're the rappers. You're providing the venue, and they're coming to your venue for revelry. But I could see where it could go either way.
Yeah.
But good point, because I could see that. Well, what you don't want after you've hosted a party is this, and I'm not making this up: crapulence. Once all the festive dust and New Year confetti is settled, there's a word for the morning after the night, the morning after the night before: crapulence. As Oxford English Dictionary puts it, it's the 18th century word for sickness or indisposition resulting from an excess of drinking and eating.
I think crapulence happened on the airplane the next day after saying I drank the water in Mexico.
On the airplane?
Well, that's where crapulence happens. Yeah. If you're word playing with turbulence, turbulence.
Yes.
Turbulence. I don't think there was any turds involved, were there?
I'm sure they started out that way.
The historian has a very much more euphemistic commercelence.
Commercelence, yes.
Oh
Gosh, you don't want to be in the Mexico City airport and have have that issue. Gosh,
I had a 4-hour layover in George Bush International in Houston, Texas, after coming back from Mexico after contracting the dysentery from orange juice.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the airport in Mexico City is like a third world country in there. It's, I mean, as big of as a city as that is, they should have some updated restrooms.
Oh yeah,
it was literally like I don't know, can't even explain it. It was bad.
Was it bad? It's like
it's bad.
The Puebla airport was small and nice. It was more modern. I can only admit, but Mexico City was.
Well, Mexico City, the airport itself was nice, but the bathrooms were like, again, they were just awful. Yeah, bad deal.
Probably like what people describe the bathrooms at Grand Central Station in New York City.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we were fine. Do you know the place that we think did it?
What?
The Mexican restaurant at the Mexican resort we were at.
Weren't they all Mexican restaurants down there?
The night before we left, we ate at the Mexican restaurant. It was the last place we hadn't eaten in there, and we woke up sick.
Oh, I said I got mine from the orange juice. I'm pretty sure.
So, did you have to pee in the trough in the Mexico City airport?
I pretty much used everything they had in there that would accept it.
Every venue available.
Yes.
I will not urinate into a trough.
Why? Man, you couldn't have grown up at the racetracks I grew up at.
No.
Wasn't living until you. What would you do? Just hold it?
No, I would go out behind the building. I'd pee on the side of the building.
That's an option.
Yeah, I'm not going to stand in a trough or at a trough next to another person standing at the trough urinating. I'm not going to do that.
Strike up good conversation.
Yeah.
No.
You don't converse when that is happening.
No, there's no conversing during commerce.
As long as you don't look down. If you keep looking them in the eye, you're fine.
No, you don't converse at the urinal. You look ahead. You look straight ahead.
You pick a spot on the tile in front of you, and you.
No, here's what you. So then that takes all the fun out of eating. What is it? Boy, I just had a complete. Eric, what's the stuff that's bad for gout?
Shellfish.
Asparagus.
That takes all the fun out of eating asparagus and then going and using a urinal, looking over and seeing everybody else standing at the urinal, gasping for air. If you're not willing to do that, then
well, but you're not.
What fun is eating asparagus?
Hey, guess what I just ate?
No, you look over when they look around and they go, you're like, yep, that's right. Asparagus.
I'm a healthy eater. I've had my
asparagus.
I cuss, you cuss. We all cuss for asparagus. So the next word.
Super Dave. Come here often? That's your opening line at the urinal, at the trough.
I usually go with the, this is where all the beeps hang out.
Yeah, Gary, just stand upstream at the end.
Okay. We have to discuss the word Yule. It's on this list. We're now switching to the Merriam-Webster Christmas Dictionary. Yule is
Yulebrenner?
used as an informal, warm, and old-fashioned synonym for Christmas. It comes from medieval England. So Yuletide is Christmas time. So Yule means Christmas.
So a Yule log is a Christmas log.
A Yule hole is
Christmas
a,
hole.
and a Yule lad is a Christmas lad.
That's right, Chris. We'll never let him hear the end of it.
Nope. Exactly.
Brady and his F-bomb.
Yeah.
181 episodes, one F-bomb
Yeah.
belongs to Brady.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna. Ah.
Hey, when the historian has written in his book,
So shall it be written. So shall it be history. So shall
So
be
say it
said.
to shepherd.
So say the flock.
We had to talk about tidings. Tidings is connected to the verb betide. It's an archaic word meaning woe. May sadness befall them, or may sadness happen to them. Betide happens. Okay, happenings or news. It could also mean that. So betide means to happen to. So if good tidings, good things happen to you.
Of great joy.
Yes. So yawn
Yawn.
hither and yon. It's short for yonder,
Right.
like round yon virgin mother and child.
yeah,
So, of course, we can't do this list without discussing hark.
So now wait a minute. The yawn virgin mother and child. So is this the three wise men talking in the song saying,
Yes,
hey,
like-
we're going to
Round yonder, there's that baby, a little 6 foot, 6 foot,
pound.
what is it? 6 pound, 3 ounce baby Jesus. Yeah. So, hearken means to listen. So, listen, I don't think hark is used enough. I'm going to make it my goal in these last 2 days before Christmas break in my job. I'm
Use
going to
hark?
say, hark for directions I give thee. All right.
when you do that, you have to video yourself doing it.
I shall. There's deck, DECK, deck.
That just means like decorate, right?
Well, yes, to
Short for decorate.
decorate. Let's see. Hark, hearken, yon, yonder. Yuletide, deck, decorate.
Yeah, so, but is deck an actual word? Like in that sense, in that use?
It's slang. It's like shortened.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Decorate
No,
the
'cause-
halls with boughs of holly.
Philologicans, because it's all shortened. That's the best I could come up with quickly.
Rah, 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 rah.
And then of course, don means to put on.
Don.
Don, we now are
Yeah.
apparel.
Well, it mentions that like gay apparel, and it just means party clothes. Like the old English, gay apparel is party clothes. So don we now are, black dresses and tuxedos.
I thought gay apparel was like hypercollar and swatches and things like that. I thought it was gay apparel.
No, hey.
Hay's for horses.
Don't mock my swatch.
There you go. There you go.
The power of the swatch.
People, that's how long we've all known each other. I had no idea he was wearing a swatch.
But yet,
Why
are
did
you
you mention this?
surprised?
But I'm not surprised. Is your shirt hypercollar?
No,
Okay.
that's dumb.
Make sure.
Says the guy wearing a swatch.
I just said the other day that I admire the artistry. I just said
Yes,
this the other day
You
that I
didn't
want
say
to.
you actually bought one.
I've had this for 3 years. You have not seen me out in public without my swatch.
No, but I've probably seen you in some yearbooks wearing a swatch.
Several yearbooks,
How
as a
long?
matter of fact.
I think I had a swatch one time, a long time back
No,
in 1993 when they were.
Matter of fact, you were probably in Todd's yearbook wearing a swatch.
So here's the deal. Swatches were kind of pricey at the time, inflationary wise. They're actually not that bad as opposed to other watches, but at the time they were expensive. So I had a couple of McAlpin's brand that they were buddy swatches. Like the famous Air Buddies were the Air Jordan ripoffs.
Oh,
So I had a couple buddy swatches. I finally got a real one, and gosh, I wish I still had that thing, man. It's like it bit the dust.
I didn't realize they still made swatches.
Oh, they're back, baby. Yeah,
Really?
they've been. And the reason I discovered that was when I was out in Vegas. There was a swatch store, and I'm like, "Be still, my heart," and that, it's just really, really cool.
Was it right beside the British Knights Bugle Boy in
the
LA
Bugle
Gear
Boy
stores?
Jean outlet in the members only coat factory.
When you members only was earlier than that, but when you could get the see-through phones, remember those?
Oh yeah.
You see all the guts, the phone guts. Yeah, Chris, you got to watch. Apparently, Rax gets Brady's dander up.
Yes, it does. Chris finds it hilarious that of all the topics that have been discussed and elaborated on, the one that gets the host to drop an F-bomb, spoiler, it was Brady, when you were all talking about Rax.
I believe weren't we talking about the BBC?
I believe
the
we
British
were.
Broadcasting Company.
BBCs have such a different meaning.
I was going to say, what would Rax do now if they were still in business? Would they have to change the name of their sandwich?
That maybe.
I don't know.
I gotta be
Give them
honest,
a lot of pub.
I loved it. I loved the BBC.
I want that as a reel.
There's a cut.
There's a cut. All right.
King Cut. You want a slice, scratch is so nice, gotta hear it twice. King Cut. DJ Cheese. Go off. Don't let your fingers get sore. Scratch up the beat. Go off. Sorry.
We set that in motion.
My swatch in that
We'll get
song.
DJ Cheese going. You'll be sorry.
The swatch discussion and your rap discussion will this word that means from days past or your days of your means from the past.
Not yorn.
The days of your. Let's look back at your.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brady was wearing a swatch.
Year.
but
I am amazed. I'm not amazed, but that was perfectly set up with you actually wearing that swatch. I had no idea.
It's
I
almost
was
like
wearing this Sunday, man. I wear this.
You wore that
is such.
But you didn't show it to me Sunday when you were there. When you were over.
Well, I mean, it's just on. It's.
I
not,
don't usually stare at your wrists. Apparently,
Yeah,
I need
thank
to.
you.
Apparently, I need to.
Well, no, I mean, it's not super obnoxious or anything. It's just
No, I don't mind it.
and-
No,
yeah,
I don't mind
it's.
if
not
a
a
watch
bad
can't
swatch.
tell me about my quality of sleep at this day and age, I'm not wearing it.
Eric and his technology for technology's sake. I'll tell you about your
Ah.
sleep. If you wake up and you're tired, it was piss poor. If you wake up and you feel good, it was good.
Well,
Not always. Not always.
like the Swiss do
according to
some
my
things
watch.
well. They do their misses well. They do their cakes well, and they do their watches well.
Eric, how tight did you hold on to the calculator watch back in the day, Eric?
I never had a calculator watch.
Yeah, I didn't either. I always found the buttons. I knew a couple people that had them, but the buttons were too annoyingly small.
I was gonna say
Like-
you can't do anything but fat finger
I want to
Hey,
say, and that was when
calculator
when I was a
watch.
kid, my fingers were bone skinny, and I still couldn't do any math on them.
Exactly, and then you couldn't cheat effectively with a calculator watch. Buttons
You
were too
need to use
small.
that pencil lead. You had to poke it, then it became too obvious
Right.
because you would fat finger them because they were like so tiny buttons that you couldn't,
Well, and they didn't have what are they called? Stylus. You think about it, they should have had a stylus with those calculator watches.
Yeah. I remember one of the other status watches for the time that was high tech at the time was the Ironman.
Oh, I had an Ironman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ironman was the industry standard for but I don't remember what all the Ironman did.
They're still around. They were waterproof, stopwatch, timer.
Shockproof,
So-
It was pretty much everything a smartwatch had, but it was analog.
analog.
Right. So Brady, we can't ignore what just happened here. Did you send out for some? Were you parched? I mean, did
No,
you send out word?
She was just showing me, wanted me to try it. She got an Arizona tea, and it was like a keg size in her hand. It was huge, but I didn't. I'm not a big fan. She was just wanting me to try it. She
What
forgot I
kind
was
is-
in here.
What kind?
Um, the teal can kind. I think it had some peachiness to it.
Can't drink tea from a can.
Nah, that I'm not a big fan of the Arizona.
Arizona, city of iced tea.
Oh no.
We have an email.
Oh, as a host, I demand pre-release editing power. I demand veto power.
Oh no. Oh no.
What do we got?
No.
What do we got?
What do we got? I'll show you.
What do we got? Drink it.
All right.
Show it.
What is historian dug up from the archives?
Serious archives here.
Oh yeah.
That would be in my Swatch wearing days.
There it is. You can
Indeed.
almost see the watch, even though his wrist is nowhere in sight.
Indeed. In
And
his
I had to unpop my collar for this picture.
Yeah.
and
You're
that
a good-looking
was,
lad, Brady.
that was just before his permed mullet.
Yes. That is he's getting into his Ricky the Dragon Steamboat year.
Oh, Chris would enjoy that if I.
The cool thing about that was that was not even me making a joke. We weren't even making fun of you. That was my son saying, "Hey,
No.
this toy I have looks like Brady."
And it happened to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
So this is not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat Brady. That's Tom Hanks Brady.
Yes. Shortly after the movie Philadelphia came out.
Shut up.
Greatest joke I ever stole. We're just talking this shit. The funny thing about that, actually, we had dinner here a couple weeks back with SJ, and I still I admit I stole that joke. But the funny thing is I went years actually thinking I said it. I didn't steal it on purpose originally. But then when I learned that I didn't say it, I still held on to it for years and acted like I did.
Oh man, you got to footnote that.
Yes.
That's classic.
Your school picture, yes.
Yorn school picture from your.
Uh,
Good times.
that was a.
I
would not have made that Swatch reference had I known you were wearing a Swatch. So that was an
almost like we
unintentional
set
thing.
that. Almost like we set that up.
Yeah, I swear that
Yeah.
that was organic, folks.
Indeed.
I sent you the
All right.
picture, the one that I would get.
Well, yeah, but we didn't. Again, Eric and I, we didn't know you already had one. We didn't know you were laying the groundwork to show off
Yeah.
the Swatch on the podcast.
All right. Okay, have we run through all these words?
Weeds, weeds.
Words. And we are now even for failing me in history. This is your payback, Brady, and it continues.
I know.
See, they
Oh,
were too
man.
busy glaring at your swatch to be able to learn and listen to you.
Exactly.
Admiring my swatch, which is what she said. Oh,
All right. So before we move on to our next topic, we were talking about these logos up here, and I remembered what that middle logo is. That's Apple Podcasts.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
like and follow our show on Facebook, X, and Instagrams. Listen and watch on YouTube's, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what's
Twitch?
Twitch,
Twitch.
Rumble. Because I guess I'm going to have to upload them to Rumble. I guess I can get them to go live.
And iHeart.
And iHeart. That's what all of our little logos are up there. So take your choice.
So Todd,
Breaking out-
it's interesting.
Breaking out the sucker.
You know what? Because I'm out of juice boxes, guess what I did tonight?
Look at you. You got the chocolate one, too. I didn't think you liked the
Yeah.
chocolate one.
Wait a minute. Are you throwing me a curveball here?
Yes.
Playing a game?
No, we're not playing a game, but we both still broke out a sucker.
We just
Okay.
desire
Alright.
suckers.
Yeah. And not only that, but this is my segment. And I'm still going to try to eat a sucker during it.
Well, I'll tell you. I sound like
All
Peter
right,
Brady.
boys and girls, ladies
A
and gentlemen,
chocolate Tootsie Roll sucker. Blah.
What?
kids of all ages.
Chocolate
It's been a
Tootsie
while.
Roll sucker. Blah.
Been a
Been a while.
Been a while.
I present to you guys the Christmas edition of Am I the Asshole? And
Or in
The-
PIBE speak.
the historian could probably tell us how long it's been since we've done an Am I the Asshole, but I want to say it's been at least 6 months, if not longer.
No, it's been a while. I have to look
Would
at
you
it.
agree?
Yes.
Am I the news?
All right. Now, as usual, when I do the Am I the Asshole, I don't read these. So I apologize in advance if they suck. All I did on this one was I did some Googling. I used the Googly machine and looked up some Am I the Asshole Christmas. I just did some search words. So the first one says, Am I the asshole for refusing to make lasagna for Christmas after what my mother-in-law did last year? Here we go. I, 30-year-old female, have been together with my husband, Michael, 31 male, for 7 years. Married for 3 and dating for 4. My mother-in-law, 58 female. Why do people feel the need to put the ages on, like, especially like the, I mean, if they're like
It might
extremely young, if it's like a young couple that just start, but I don't understand the purpose of this.
I mean, it does
Anyway.
provide some context.
I
Yeah.
got it. My mother-in-law, 58 female, has always hosted Christmas ever since I've known him. That's terrible writing, by the way. That makes it sound like even though she just said her mother-in-law was a 58-year-old female, she's calling him a him or her a him. So if as her reading teacher, I would probably dock her some points for that. I've always made lasagna for Christmas and other special occasions. I'm essentially the family lasagna maker. And honestly, I don't really mind since I love to cook and bake. However, last year, my mother-in-law decided to make lasagna based off what she saw me doing when she was at my house and a recipe she got off the internet. I was surprised that she prepared a pan of her own, but didn't say anything and even got a small piece. It did not taste good. And it was barely touched, while mine had almost half gone near the end of the dinner. That infuriated my mother-in-law, and she wound up doing a rant about how everyone loves me more than her and tried to throw my lasagna in the trash. I say tried because it mainly ended up on the floor. This, can you hear how petty,
I was going to say, this is the pettiest crap I've heard.
attacking her throwing skills. Michael and I quickly left after that, and my mother-in-law has not apologized for it since. Yesterday, she called me to confirm that I was making for Christmas this year, what I was making for Christmas this year, and on her list of things I should make, lasagna. I politely said I wasn't going to make lasagna due to last year's incident, and I'd be happy to make anything else. My mother-in-law wasn't as polite and called me vindictive for refusing to make the lasagna over a small mistake. I just refused again, and it made my mother-in-law angrier. So she told me that unless I show up with lasagna in hand, she wouldn't let me be at the Christmas celebration. My husband says it's easier to just make the damn lasagna to keep the peace. And I shouldn't hold my mother-in-law's mistake that she made out of anger against her. Word got to my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, from my mother-in-law, and they're saying I should also make it, even if it's just half of what I usually make.
Oh, this is glorious.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even know where to start with all that.
There's not enough orifices to go around in this story.
Well, let's admit, the lady who wrote it could come out the winner had she written it with any kind of anything. I mean, she sounds like a teenager here, like making fun of her throwing style, making fun of her. Like,
Now, if
It's just
somebody
very
was knocking my lasagna, I might throw some shady, pithy comments their way.
yeah,
But
but,
as Gary said, character development is crucial in your story.
right.
By the way, Am I the Asshole? Last done episode 155.
It's almost 30 episodes ago.
25 episodes ago. Wow.
Wow.
26, right? Yeah, 26.
This is 26. This is 181. Right.
So that's what? I mean, that's probably every bit of.
That's at least 6 months, probably.
I agree, Gary. And actually, I'll agree to an extent, Gary. I think she has a beef or has a legit, but she just goes about it so pathetically childish. I mean, she's going after her mother-in-law's limp-wristed lasagna throwing techniques.
There's multiple beeves to be had in this story.
Beefs.
So, by the way, well, I'll wait until the end. So let's first off, is the mother-in-law an asshole because she took the dish that her daughter-in-law was known for and made it herself? I want to think she's at fault there.
It's not the fact that she made it, but she made it poorly and got upset when she was called to the carpet.
So you're saying had she made it and outdone her, it would be acceptable?
I'm not even saying acceptable. It would have just been maybe a faux pas. Like, hey, and I could have framed this. If I was the mother-in-law, it's like, you just make such awesome lasagna. I just wanted to see if I could do it once and see if I could get it close. But
Or
no,
was
she
she-
made low-grade dog food and got ticked.
Dog food.
That was for you.
Historian,
maybe
have
with
we
that.
ever done a Christmas edition of Am I the Asshole?
I think I did a Thanksgiving one, and I don't know why I did it and not you. But the Christmas
So-
one, I don't know.
So there's all kinds of people here. So what about the husband? Basically just saying, just get over it. I mean, it'd be easier just to make the lasagna just to keep the peace.
Now, I
Okay.
disagree there. I don't think he was saying get over it. I think he was just saying, it's Christmas. Just make the lasagna, please. Just let's make this go away.
So, Eric, go ahead.
Here's what I feel is happening here, although the writer of the story would not necessarily know this, but I guarantee you the husband is playing both sides against the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Because mom got in his ear and say, hey, she threw her lasagna on the ground and she's just a blankety blank blank and
That hussy,
mom,
that harlot.
harlot. Yeah. well mom. So he's trying to play the peacemaker, I'm sure.
Well, hang on a minute. Just let me make sure I heard you right. His wife didn't throw the lasagna on the ground.
No, his mom did.
Yeah. Okay.
It's her mother-in-law.
Yeah. Well, but to me, the biggest asshole is the mother-in-law for two reasons. For treading into the lasagna territory anyway. She didn't have to make lasagna. She was trying to one-up her. She was trying to show her.
Wanda needed to stay in her lane.
Right. But then the second thing, to tell her, if you don't make lasagna, you're not welcome at our Christmas celebration. Are you kidding me?
Did she open the door and say, show me the lasagna?
Exactly. That's not lasagna. That's just noodle casserole. Be gone.
Yeah. What if she would have done something like really similar, but like what if she would have made like manicotti instead, just to prove a point?
What if she had put
Here's
like
your
peas in
Italian
it?
dish.
What Which, by the way, Brady, this is why I always say you're full of crap with your anti casserole. Lasagna is just a casserole.
No, it's Italian food.
It's a casserole.
Casserole has pink and jello in it, so I'm not like.
Pink is a color. First off, it's not a substance.
Yes, it's something undefinable. There's usually something pink and jello in it.
Don't be giving me
said
the
it. I
bismuth.
stand by it.
Pink bismuth.
All right. So what do we all think here? I mean, I by the way, the listeners said that she was not the asshole.
Yeah, the mother-in-law is the giganta anus in this one. And then I think you are right 100%, Todd, where if she would have just presented it in a non-petty way about not, dissing her throwing style and things like that, she would have come out of this smelling way better.
Had she
But
said
she wallowed in the poop.
Yeah. Had she said, I've been making the lasagna for years. For whatever reason, my mother-in-law decided to make the lasagna to try to outdo me. My lasagna was the more popular. She got mad about it. Now she won't let me come to her house if I don't bring lasagna. Then it would be overwhelming. She would be the good guy here. You guys agree?
So you're saying that mother-in-law was trying to wrestle the title of family lasagna maker from the daughter-in-law.
Right. Do you remember we had one of these one time where the mother-in-law wore a white dress to the wedding? Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
This kind of seems familiar to that.
This does reek of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Mother-in-law.
ready to move on.
Wanting hand. Yeah.
Mother-in-law is asshole majora, and daughter-in-law is anal minora.
Right. And she also she clearly wrote this while she was still angry.
Yes.
I could see and hear her typing this.
Yeah.
Probably on her phone as she was.
Gary says she's 58. She should have known better. I agree.
Yeah.
One of many Italian casseroles.
So, we got several comments here. The historian says March is the last time. So, we've done Am I the Asshole? So, what was this? December? So, 9 months. Gary asked if you ever used sausage instead of beef in your lasagna.
I have. Well, my wife, who's not listening tonight because she's under the weather, she puts, when she makes lasagna, she puts pepperoni in it. And it's very, very good.
Oh, come on now, Chris. Based on the loose definition of it, I think lasagna could be called a salad.
It could. It's a pasta salad.
Easy.
It's a hot pasta salad.
No, wait a minute. Even in these farcical salads that have noodles in them,
Pink and jello.
Salads. Yes, they're salads. None of those have beef in them. None of those have meat.
Well, salads can. Oh, okay. Salads have meat in them.
Ham salad?
Yeah.
Bologna salad?
Not even that. No. Regular salad has meat in it. You can get a chef salad that has meat.
It can have meat. Yes. But
you don't like meat in your salad?
Yeah. On my lettuce salad, yes.
Have you ever had the big boy salad? It's essentially like a. It's if you like.
It sounds good.
It's like a healthy big boy.
The toddler salad.
The Sade salad. All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my in-laws? I'm seeing a pattern here for refusing to attend my in-laws' Christmas dinner. My husband's family has a tradition of always eating out at a pizza restaurant for Christmas Eve dinner. Once we got married, it was expected I would join the family for this. Problem is, I cannot eat dairy. And this particular restaurant only has pizza, no dairy-free food at all. So last year, I chose not to attend the dinner and just meet up with everyone after my husband attended the dinner. My mother-in-law was upset with me because they usually exchange presents at the restaurant and said it was rude of me not to attend. But I didn't want to watch everyone else eat and chose not to go. During this past year, my husband was diagnosed with lactose intolerance and doesn't eat much dairy now either.
So he had half a foot and small insects. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So we suggested that this year we would make homemade pizza. That way it was still the pizza tradition, but we could make dairy-free options for ourselves. My mother-in-law said no and said that I specifically was ruining their family tradition. She said we should all go to the restaurant still, and the two of us should just eat beforehand. I still have no interest in watching everyone else eat. My husband and I are refusing to join them, and we are instead making plans to spend Christmas Eve with my family. We were told we are ruining Christmas for the whole family. I'm starting to wonder if I'm being too stubborn and we should just go to the restaurant to make everyone else happy. So I'd like to know, am I the asshole for refusing to go to the dinner? Real quick, there's an edit. To answer the two common questions coming up, I have an allergy, not just intolerance. Also, we have called the restaurant, and there is dairy in their crust and sauce, so they cannot guarantee any dairy-free options.
Okay. That's an important edit because, I mean, I don't like seafood, but I could go to a seafood restaurant and enjoy the presence and have a sweet tea and maybe a quieted canine or two. And then, but like, but I think
Shut your mouth, Pooch.
yes. But, you know, I think that edit changes everything for me because if it's that severe of an allergy, you know, they could have just went and watched and enjoyed the company. But if she's got so much allergy that even being around it, she's going to be, playing first chair on their butt trumpet, just by being around the lactose and everything. I don't think she's an Anuse in this case.
Eric?
I don't get the gist that just her being in the same establishment as dairy would cause. Yeah. That being said, though, it seems like there could have been a middle ground somewhere here.
I think
yes,
so.
Yes, we can go eat pizza. Some place that maybe has salad. I mean, most pizza places, I think, offer salad.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Todd. Sorry.
I think she's an asshole. People disagree with me because the overwhelming. I think when it puts the kind of the finale up at the top, I think that's what it's like a majority thing. But here's my take on it, Eric. You hit the nail on the head. And none of her original complaint, did she mention anything about like an allergy and like breathing in the smell of lactose is going to make her sick. She even said she doesn't want to watch people eat. So she dug her own little crevice.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to get out of it by saying, "Oh, I called." And they said, "I also do not believe for 1 minute there's any establishment on this earth that has pizza but does not have salad." I think she's being an asshole.
I've never encountered one. I agree with that.
And I think she's taking advantage of the fact that her husband's just been diagnosed with lactose intolerance, and now she's trying to use that to her advantage. When the husband should say, "Look, allow me to be a mentor. Allow me to be a model of what you can do. You go and you don't eat. You make these old people happy because this is tradition." You got to realize that generation above us, they have that tradition, like, and they deserve that. And like, it wouldn't hurt them to go and open presents and hang out and then eat something on the way home or something like that. So that's why I think she's maybe not an asshole, but she's being very childish.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm going to throw out there, and this is exactly where my mind went. As a teacher, I remember some kids having such severe allergies, like peanut allergies, where they would put a sign like a peanut-free zone because just being in proximity could make them anaphylactic. She didn't say that it was that severe, but I think that's where my mind went, just because I've experienced that setting before where somebody had that bad of a food allergy.
Well, I agree that. Thank you, Chris. He's trying to milk the situation. Definitely not trying to milk it because that would. She can't be in the same room with milk.
This being mute.
I don't know much about food allergies, but I don't think that lactose intolerant means you can't be in a room where there's lactose, where there's cheese.
Yeah.
No,
And again, she never mentioned that. She only mentions that when people are asking, and I didn't look, but I'm sure people are saying like, so you couldn't just sit in the room and not, you know what I mean? I just think, again, maybe it was in the delivery, but it sounds to me like she's not being reasonable to an older generation.
I need more information. I need more information. I need to know, do they eat at a pizza restaurant or that pizza restaurant?
Is it Dom Luigi's pizza restaurant that generations of this family has gone to every year, where grandpap and grandmam, that's where they
Right.
had their wedding,
Right.
is there a deep tie to this place?
Right.
Or is it just
That's what I need to know.
yeah.
But again, I think, and I see Savannah's point, and I don't know. I'm asking, is lactose intolerant? She didn't say. I mean, does it mean she can't even be in the room? I mean, if she steps into a UDF, is she going to break out in hives? I mean, I didn't think it was that way.
Is
I
a
mean, I know
dairy
peanut
molecule
allergies.
going to infest her? Like, yeah, but
I mean, I know peanut allergies. If there's peanut dust, but
yeah,
I think we're confusing the fact that like we're not saying that she should just suck it up and eat. I'm saying she should suck it up, sit there for an hour, open presents, have fun, laugh, and then go eat where she can eat safely. But I'll admit I'm wrong if there's some sort of like intolerance where you can't even be in the same room as lactose. So I don't have enough knowledge to really put a formal answer in, but it's interesting that her husband ended up being lactose intolerant, though. That's interesting.
Yeah. So Gary,
she didn't say again. She didn't say in that. She didn't say he was. He's just lactose intolerant. She didn't say he had an allergy.
Yeah. So Gary asked the most important question: how old was the mother-in-law in this one?
that's true.
He also said the restaurant was Chuck E. Cheese.
Charles A. Fromage.
He also says in-law tolerant is a real thing. But yeah, to Savannah's point, I'll put her comment up there. You have a point. She's being childish. But at the same time, allergies can be really bad. As someone with food allergies, I can understand the point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have food allergies. I had a reaction to what's it called? Eggplant one time, and my mouth swelled up.
You have an eggplant intolerance?
I haven't tried it since. I haven't tested those waters.
We don't want any ram racketing going on down at the pizza joint.
So did you guys know, though? I never heard of crust having dairy in it.
No.
Maybe it was just like cross contamination,
Yeah.
Historian says, does any milk produce some kind of pollen that someone who's lactose intolerant can breathe it in and make them instantly and desperately need to conduct commerce or get deathly sick?
and that guy, and we could chuckle, but I guess we need to know, because if that's her, that changes the whole complexion.
But
of the
see,
story.
I don't think it is though, Brady, and because here's why: she never mentioned that in her story. If
she
that were
say, I get deathly ill.
Yeah, if that were the catalyst in this rant, she would have said that. She would have led with that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't until people question it, and then she's like, "Oh, by the way, I have an allergy, not an intolerance." But again, I think that only, to me, until I know more, that only comes in if you're saying, "Suck it up and eat something." And I'm not saying that at all. If you can't eat it, don't eat it. But if you can be in the same room, it's not going to kill you. Who knows? Maybe the grandma in this family is 100 years old, and who knows how many Christmases she has left. And are you really going to, you really can't sit there for 2 hours? And because think about what she said multiple times. I don't like watching people eat. I can't just sit and watch them. She actually said, I'm not going to sit and watch somebody eat. So her disposition through this was not about like, I'll become deathly ill. It was, I'm not sitting here and watching you eat.
It's going to be boring watching them eat.
Yeah. So that's my only thing. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, she should have led with that. She should have led with, I get deathly ill if I even look at lactose.
I still would like to know if it is we eat at a pizza place or we eat at this pizza place.
This pizza place, yeah.
I almost guarantee it's this pizza place. I just get that feeling.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah.
But again, I would like to know. You notice she didn't put the name of the pizza place. I would like to know because I would call them myself and say, "Do you serve a salad? Do you serve some soup? Like, do you serve some?"
Yeah, the minestrone is not going to have any
some
lactose in it, I don't
antipasta. All right. Am I the asshole for giving my brother a chicken sandwich for Christmas? Every year, my parents hold a gift exchange at their home on Christmas Eve, and my older brother and I always give each other thoughtful but funny gifts. This year, he became vegan because his wife wanted him to follow a new diet. Something he complied with despite not liking it. For our gift exchange, I decided to buy him 2 Popeyes chicken sandwiches since he did not get to participate in all the hype, and a new PS4 controller. Before the exchange, my girlfriend and I bought the sandwiches, put them in an insulated bag, and wrapped the bag. When my brother unwrapped his gift, he was confused about why I got him a bag until I told him to open it. When he saw the sandwiches, he started to laugh hysterically and immediately unwrapped one of them and ate it. The gift was a big hit, except to my sister-in-law.
Dun, 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 dun.
Afterwards, she scolded me by saying she didn't appreciate me giving my brother food that goes against her beliefs. I told her that brother is an adult and that he can make his own decisions, and it made him happy. Besides, I wasn't even thinking about her beliefs when I did it. She turned bright red and stormed off. Later, I got a text from my brother telling me he was in hot water for eating the sandwiches, but he didn't care. He appreciated the gift regardless. Now the topic of conversation in our family group chat is some people are saying it was insensitive to my sister-in-law to get my brother the sandwiches, when others think it was brilliant. You guys can guess what side I'd be on. So, Reddit, what is your opinion? By the way, you know this is Reddit because do you know what everybody else voted?
Oh yeah, that
he was the asshole.
Asshole, yeah.
It makes me laugh because there's some Popeyes there. I think. Okay. I think there's been fewer stories that tap into this primal Chad, not so nice guy, non-PC, like I don't want to say insensitive, but and I'm a nice guy. Most people think so. But I really don't care about her feelings on this one. I'm just going to go out and say it. That was a gift from a brother to a brother.
Right.
It's not like he gave him a kitten to sacrifice on Baal's temple. This is a yuck.
Eric zoomed in on his camera. His face is
did.
bigger than it used to be. There.
Nah,
I'm just messing with you. You're getting comfy.
Yeah.
Brady, I'll agree. If I were rewriting this is how it would say. Every year, my parents hold a gift exchange at their home on Christmas Eve. My older brother and I always give each other thoughtful but funny gifts. This year, he became vegan because his ex-wife wanted him to follow a new diet. Something he can pop. That's what it would be ex-wife. He needs to run. He needs to run at top speed away from this person. You can tell the average age of a Reddit user, by the way, by them thinking he's the asshole here.
Well, you can certainly tell their political persuasion.
I mean, come on.
It's not even about the vegan. I mean, people are vegan for health, and that's cool. But that
Reddit,
is.
Reddit makes MSNBC looks like the National Review.
And I'm not. That's with me. I'm not knocking anybody who's vegan. More power to you. But the problem I see, and if you're vegan, I'm not talking to you. unless you're this way. Don't impose your will on everybody.
No.
And that's
Even
the
your
problem I
husband.
see with that. If you marry somebody who's not vegan, let them be.
Yes.
They've made it however many years without being vegan, let it be. And if they choose to be vegan, celebrate it and enjoy that you have that in common.
Because if he really wanted to do that, he would not have eaten those sandwiches.
Right.
Oh,
He may have laughed about it.
If she's mad at anybody, she should be mad at him for eating the chicken
Okay.
sandwiches.
Well, apparently, she was mad at him as well.
Yeah, and like I get the feeling that I'm going to go as far as to say this. I'm going to get inside the sandwich eater's psyche here. I think he had no idea the poop storm that was going to be caused by him eating that sandwich. I think he had no idea. I think he thought this is going to be funny and he's going to enjoy the sandwich. He had no idea the wrath he was going to incur.
And I'll tell you
Poor
something
sap.
else. Every time he's out by himself, he's hitting a Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King drive-through.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. She's
Every-
made this man into an addict.
Yeah, every beefery that's around, he's going to be pulling into.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to take it a step further. And I'm going to say that every time she is by herself and passes a beefery, she's getting some sandwich on the side. She's getting some side sandwich.
You think?
I think.
So what was she
That
trying to
sounds really
virtue
tawdry.
signal?
Side sandwich.
I think. I don't think she would be as upset about this if she knew she didn't have a weakness too. She wanted to bite into that Popeyes. That's what it was, is she was jealous because she wanted to bite into that Popeyes.
Not from the beefery, but from the chicory.
Right. Listen to what he says in the edit. Thank you for everyone that commented. I will accept my asshole verdict and apologize to everyone that is now craving a sandwich with this post.
Reddit.
Oh, man.
Reddit is just, I don't even know.
Alternate universe.
Oh, definitely.
Have you ever seen that meme that's like a line of urinals and like there's a person at the far left using the urinal and then like the person comes in and goes, skips all of the empty urinals and goes to the one right beside the person on the left. And then like the little speech bubble that says, I'm vegan.
Right.
Or I just wanted to tell you I was vegan, that kind of thing. And again, I'm not knocking vegans. I should probably try it myself. Maybe I'd be healthier, but I think it's the attitude that comes with it. Don't go vegan if you're going to get mad because other people aren't vegan.
So this is a legitimate question. Is veganism about being healthy or is it about saving animals? Because it seems like it's mostly about saving animals.
I think there's two branches of it, honestly.
Well, because I actually hear the opposite. I hear a lot of times people that tried vegan and they were very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So Savannah has an important question also. Is it wrong to go to the beefery and get chicory?
As long as you can
get porkery.
As long as you can stand to go to the chicory and get beefery. Or you could stack the chicory on the beefery. Uh-oh, Eric's gone again.
Uh-oh, I hope that we didn't
Don't
get
cut us off,
again.
Eric. Yeah, we were. Now,
Hello.
there we go. Are we still on?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yes, we're live recording still running.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next up, inquiring. Am I the asshole? Inquiring about Christmas gifts' monetary value. Christmas was a few days ago, and both my sibling and I are in fairly serious relationships and have been for roughly the same number of years. While opening gifts from my mom, my siblings. Significant other. Unwrapped some gift cards, and my significant other unwrapped an actual item. To most people, the value of the gift cards my siblings' significant other received appeared to be 3 times the value of the gift my significant other received. I called my mom about the situation, as I felt as though my significant other was treated unfairly. I expressed to her that I did not care about the actual price of the gifts, but that I was curious about it as I didn't want my significant other to feel undervalued or as if she was treated unfairly or unequal to my siblings' significant other. It was at this point that my mom revealed that the gifts actually were in fact comparable in value, as the gift my significant other received was way more expensive, as most people would have expected. My mom is now really, really mad, saying that she didn't raise me to put a monetary amount on a gift and expressing that next year, all we are getting is cash. Ooh, don't threaten me with that. I have apologized multiple times, to which her response has been to propose to hand out an exact dollar amount to my significant other so that they are to the dollar equal with my siblings' significant other's set of gift cards. Am I the asshole for trying to verify my significant other was being treated fairly?
I have never been a bean counter, and I'm not trying to sound pious or anything here, but when somebody goes to the trouble of getting me a gift, I'm appreciative. I'm not bean counting. Never once does it cross my mind, did what they get, was it more expensive? I can't get inside that mindset. This brings up two questions. Either the significant other is high maintenance, and this would be a problem to him, her, or the person asking the question is a bean counter. I don't do bean counters.
See, and the original poster never says my significant other questioned. So it doesn't sound like it was the significant other's problem.
Right.
This person is a bean counter, as Brady calls them. Very apropos.
I think it's more about status. It had nothing to do about money. Do they like their significant other more than mine? Does that significant other have more hand than mine? And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Eric. If this were like she put him up to this, like she was offended and said, "Hey, go defend me or go find out what this was." I think he's the asshole.
Yeah.
I don't think a big one. Yeah, I don't know. That's you know, I think maybe his heart was in a good place, but he did not realize what he was doing. Now, okay, I do believe the mom was being a little bit childish with the whole. Well, I'll just. What did it say? Like, I'll just. Let me find it again here real quick. When the mom says,
Same cash amount and monetary value.
"Yeah, I'll propose to hand out an exact dollar amount to my significant other so that they are." I think that's being a little bit.
Well, you
Did
know what?
she actually
Maybe
say that? Or is that being perceived?
Well, it says, I've apologized multiple times, to which her response has been to propose to hand out an exact dollar amount to my significant other so that they are to the dollar equal with my siblings. I think that's a bit.
I don't know though.
I'll
This
just
mother
give you a
put,
receipt,
but if this mother put a lot of thought into what she was doing and made sure that things were of equal value, I would be offended as well. Maybe I wouldn't say it time and time again when they've apologized. Maybe I'd say it once.
I'm
Right.
projecting. Do
No,
you
I
guys
think she
feel
has
like
every
this
right
is-
to be offended.
Do you
Yeah.
think this is the first rodeo with like I said? Do you think there's been other stuff like this which kind of poked the wound a little bit? I know I'm reading between the lines. That might not be fair, but I just bet that this significant other might be high maintenance.
It could
Yeah, I
be.
mean, I mean, it's kind of like I tell my kids, like my students. I mean, we can't make up things that aren't in the story. But I
Yeah.
agree. Like with these, you kind of have to do a little bit of.
A little bit of subtext there,
Yeah. I mean, we all agree that he's the asshole. right? To an
Oh,
extent.
Yeah, or I mean, you're saying significant other may be high maintenance. Maybe the poster here is high maintenance.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
the
That's
mom is
true.
just like,
Or is he falling on the sword for her?
Ooh.
mhm. I don't know.
You know. All right. Let's move on. Am I the asshole for returning my daughter's Christmas present? I, 42-year-old female, have 3 daughters, ages 11, twins, and 16. My ex-husband is no longer around to spoil them like he usually does. Right off the bat. Does that help the story? You know what I mean? Like,
That's just a dig.
it is a dig. It's an unnecessary dig. Well, I should read more. The divorce finalized exactly 1 year ago. Since then, he changed his number and has not even bothered to call our daughters. And I, as a nurse working long hours, are doing my best to provide for 3 girls. Okay, so he's not being a good dad. And she's pissed. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm still doing everything I can to find him because he hasn't been paying lately, and I've been very busy anyway. I asked the girls what they wanted for Christmas. My 11-year-old wanted a Nintendo Switch with the latest Pokemon game, and my 16-year-old wants the iPad Pro with the pencil. I do the best I can for my daughters, but unfortunately, I have a limited budget, and I told them this. I told my daughter that it would be extremely difficult to get an iPad Pro, but I would do the best I can. At that point, it seemed like we came to an understanding. My intended budget for Christmas shopping was $500. And since I could not afford the iPad she wanted, I got her a Samsung tablet for $160. So I had to stretch it thin to make sure everyone gets presents. Fast forward Christmas Day, when the girls opened their gifts, the twins were happy to get their Switch and 2 Pokemon games. My oldest, 16, threw a fit that it was not the iPad Pro that she wanted. I told her that I could not afford an $800 tablet, so I got her a very good brand tablet instead. She started yelling at me and called me the worst mom ever, and now she misses dad. And how she misses dad. I told her that if she misses her father so much, call him, knowing that at this point that phone number is disconnected. I told her that she needs to understand that her father is not around anymore, and I have to take care of her and her sisters on my own, and money is very scarce. I can only do so much. If this is the attitude I get for making sure she gets something for Christmas, I'll return the tablet. She's old enough to get a job anyway. My daughter burst into tears and ran to her room. We have not spoke much since the incident. The next day, I returned the tablet to the store, and that was the end of it. Despite my oldest acting like a complete spoiled brat on Christmas, I felt like I should have been more understanding of her situation, as her father and I recently divorced, and it must have been hard for her and her sisters, especially since dad disappeared. Am I the asshole? That's sad. That's sad reading that.
It is.
Yeah.
No, she's not. I want to be clear. I'm not non-sympathetic to the plight of the daughter, but that is a life lesson. It's a difficult one. And I say this like I'm some kind of hard case. I am a softie. But that would flip my buttons. That would bring out the mongoose in me. So,
All right. So if you want to do some bean countery here, and I just happen to know prices of things in this particular story. So you got 2 girls, one a Switch. Roughly, each girl got the equivalent amount of what the tablet was worth.
Right. It helps that they're twins and they can share the Switch.
Yeah, right. So I thought the mother did a really nice job of trying to fill the need and doing so in such a way that if you look at the value that each child received, it seems to be pretty equal. So I don't know if that was worth a conversation with the 16-year-old, you know, and maybe it wasn't, but I don't have any problem with her taking it back. You know, you don't want it. Okay. You know, maybe if at some point you want to get a job, I'll give you $160 and then you can pay the rest. But yeah, if you don't want this tablet, there's no need to have it around here.
yeah.
I don't disagree with you guys, but I will play devil's advocate for the sake of interest. I don't think I agree with everything both of you said. And I am probably considered a hardy. I don't know. What's the opposite of a softy? What's the opposite of a softy? I'm a hard E. I'm a hardly hard.
hard ace.
I'm a hard ace. No. I mean, okay, so there's nobody that'll break your heart more than your own kids. And when you get into the teenage year, you if you haven't gotten to that stage yet, you will. And again, and it takes a while as a hardy to realize that your method from when they were pre-teen, before they were teens, does not work when they're teens anymore. And so it's up to you to figure out how to not get your heart broken by them. And so that's what's happened here. Mom got her feelings hurt. Mom got her heart broken by her teenage daughter. Doesn't mean her teenage daughter was right. We all understand the idea of if somebody buys you something, be thankful. Don't, you don't throw a fit, that kind of thing. We all get that. She's 16 though. And there's no doubt there's more going on here than her just being 16, even though being 16 by itself is hard enough on its own. The dad being gone, I think the mom is not quite, I think she is at the end. She's like, I'm understanding that she's dealing with this loss of her father, even though he's alive, but he's not around. So because of that, I don't want to blame the mom for the knee-jerk reaction because, again, she got her heart broken by her daughter who basically told her, take this gift and shove it. But I do think she should have held off on taking it back. She could have had all the talks that you guys are talking about, and Eric, the talk you brought up. She could have had all those talks with her and then decided at that point. And I'd be willing to bet that had she taken the approach of, I'm taking it back and you get nothing, had she said one of two things. All I had, like you said, Eric, all I have is this. Between what your sisters wanted and you guys, you each got about $160 spent on you. Mm-hmm. I will take this back. If this isn't what you want, I'll take it back. Like you said, Eric, I'll give you $160 to get a job, and you can put it towards what you want. Or I'll spend this $160 in another way, or keep the tablet. However, I don't know how long you have to take it back, but keep the tablet for 2 weeks, and then we'll have this conversation. Now, she might have done that. I couldn't tell in the context if she did that. It sounded to me like she just got pissed and kind of took it back the next day or whatever. Yeah. I really think had she waited a couple of weeks, the daughter would have come around and said, you know what, I can use this tablet. There are things I can do with it. So I'm going to try to be the softy here and say that the mom, I don't want to say she's an asshole because I get it. Yeah. I get where she's coming from. But I do think she should have waited a little bit. I think there's still some angst there towards the dad.
Yeah.
She starts out by showing us that.
Right.
Whether it's warranted or not. So I don't necessarily disagree with you guys, but I don't think she's an asshole. I think she's a parent that again found out that nobody breaks your heart more than your kids because their words cut like a knife, but they don't know what they're saying. I hate to say that. I don't mean to like ageism there, like teenagers don't know what they're doing,
right.
but there's
they call it teenage angst for a reason.
Right. And I just can't help to think that this daughter, if it's like, and I don't have no problem with the hard stance of this is what you got, take it or leave it. The daughter was trying to basically push her will into mom so mom would go back and get her what the iPad she wanted. If you just say, nope, this is it. You can have $160 or you can have this tablet. I do think they could have come to some sort of middle ground, but that's
compromise.
Anyway.
So on that note, and I've not even ever said anything to my son about this because he was so young. His mother passed away when he was 6 in April. He turned 7, and then we had our first Christmas without her. I was not the one that was buying Christmas presents until that point. So, he told Santa, what he wanted. And it turned out that what I heard and what I bought were two different things. Mm-hmm. So he opens this thing up on Christmas and basically said, this is not what I told Santa I wanted. like you said, cuts like a knife, and he certainly wasn't purposely directing it towards me, obviously.
Right.
But it's like
Directed towards Santa.
Yeah, right. But you know who Santa was. So yeah, I mean, I totally get all that, and I totally get what you're saying, Todd. I agree with that. You know, it's take a step back, let cooler heads prevail, see what you can do.
Right. And I'm probably talking there as to give talking to myself as much as anybody there. I mean,
Well,
it
but here's the thing: if you're talking psychologically, as odd as this may sound, the 11-year-olds are probably more reasonable than the 16-year-old.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because the undeveloped frontal lobe goes crazy in teenagers,
Right.
and doesn't tone down until they're about, my son's 24 now. It's about that time, but
yeah.
teenage stuff is like, oh.
Right. And Gary, I think, chimed in perfectly there. I mean, take a step back. I'd probably feel the same if my parents split up. And you don't know at that point. Again, is it more anger over, like, if Dad were here, I would get what I want, or that kind of, you don't know what the
dynamic,
and it might, it's hyperbole. Everybody has this iPad. If I don't have it, I'm going to be a loser. And again, maybe she just needed some education on, hey, this is what you can do with this tablet. This is what you can do. We all know how important brand is to teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's bad. I mean, it's still important to Brady. That's why he's got a Swatch. So the joke there is, Brady, is it's not important to you because nobody wears a Swatch anymore.
I'm suddenly hoping that somebody slips on the snow broth here.
Slip of the slow broth, pal. All right, I'll do one more.
Let me put this comment up first because I need to do that. So Savannah, talking about the Christmas presents and being thankful for what you get. She on one Christmas got rocks that said, "Guess who was bad from my grandma?" They were my all-time favorite gift I've ever gotten because she took the time to pick the perfect rocks from the driveway. And let me scroll back up here and paint them. Also got a necklace and a ring and some candy, but the rocks were my favorites because on first glance, I got rocks, but Grandma took the time to do that. So that's a good story.
Yeah, nice.
And Andy, I would have returned it, had talks with her and given her some time to settle down, let her ultimately make a choice of if she wants to keep it or if she truly wants it returned.
Would have not returned it, by the way.
Would not returned it. Okay. I'm working with one eye here. So
I see that. You took your patch off.
Yeah. Give her the chance to make an adult decision. I would most certainly not made it about me and use the situation for everyone. Yep.
Yeah. And again, it's easy to sit here and armchair quarterback. Is that the term? Armchair quarterback, backseat drive.
Yeah.
Your first instance is, again, like, you ungrateful brat, I'll take it to the store. But again, there wasn't really enough context. It didn't really say how long things went. If she said like 3 weeks later, she was still acting,
Right.
But again, take it back and say, okay, you can come with me. We'll take it back and you can take and get what you want.
Yep.
There could have been a bonding teaching moment there.
There could have
The
been.
only way that would not have worked is if, let's just say that, like, it doesn't say that, but what if the daughter was like totally off the chain,
Right.
You go on
And
those.
This is what we promise on our podcast. We do the funny, we do the serious. We take it. We don't claim to always be lighthearted. We take some sensitive subjects too. So thank you guys for chiming in there.
Yeah.
Savannah and Gary and Super Dave.
So but here's
by the
another
way, how many people we have in the room right now?
12.
12. I want to point out, if I can, Super Dave. The name you're seeing is Andy Baucom. Fantastic photographer.
yeah.
If you guys are looking for any photography work, I know he's busy. He's probably going to be pissed at me for promoting him here because he's a busy man. But I'm telling you, this dude is awesome. He's done 2 photo shots now of our daughter, and it literally, you look at the pictures and it's like supermodel. I mean, and I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm a good looking guy, so my daughter gets a lot of that from me. But
Thank God for Celia.
right, but I'm just saying, like, if Andy is just fantastic. So if you're listening to this now or later, jump on Facebook and go to Andy Balcom, ANDYBAUCOM, and get him on board to take your pictures, even if you have to wait, him out because he's a busy guy, and he and I talked about that, about how he's promoting and advertising, and he's getting so much business word of mouth because, you know, one thing from owning my own business back in the day is, like, if you're good, you know, you're going to stay busy. And so anyway, get him to do your senior pictures. He's doing a lot of sports teams pictures. He's doing a lot of cool things that I don't see anybody else doing.
Yeah.
He's going to do our.
I am a proud. He can tell you I am a hell of a light holder when he does pictures. I will do the fog. I'll do that kind of stuff. That, you know, I mean, so. But anyway,
He's after dinner, of course.
So here's a
fantastic
challenge. I don't know if he's up to it. Can he do a play it by ear podcast layout and make these mugs look good?
It's for our OnlyFans page that we're going to be rolling out in 2025. Andy Malcolm.
Couple of things there.
You're kidding.
Well, I don't know if he is. I don't know. I mean, he's a fantastic photographer. I don't know if there's enough editing he could do to us.
I don't know if that software exists.
Right. But I'm sure he's probably never done a podcast photo shoot. And then Savannah asked about pet pictures. Andy, I'll let you answer that, but I can promise you, Savannah, that he'll make them look magical and beautiful. And again, he's awesome. So I can't say enough about Andy. And again,
guy,
we call him Super Dave. I don't know if there's anything he can't do. I think he like, you know, he just out of the blue, I saw he was taking pictures and we talked, and then he's awesome at it. Like, there's no, like, he either handled the learning curve, like where you couldn't see it, or something, because there's no learning curve there. He looks like somebody that's been doing it for
He's got
50
the artist
years.
side.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
very,
the
very
ones
awesome.
ones I saw the other day, he'd done some cheerleader pictures and just action shots, and very, very impressed.
Yeah,
what I saw there.
So, he says he's finishing up his edits. I listen. Oh, she's looking forward to him, Andy. I know she doesn't. You know, she's 16, so she doesn't get on the Facebook like we all do. But she's loved every one of them. She's been very, very thankful for them. So, thank you guys. But anyway, if you're listening, again, now later, if you're listening to this later on Spotify or one of the other, go to Andy and talk to him and set up a photo shoot. He's very reasonable price. He works his butt off. He's not one of these people that says, okay, I got 2 hours, I'm going to give you 9 pictures. He's not happy until he's happy. Put it that way. Like, he's, you know, it's not a matter of, hey, I'm doing this because this is my cut price, and you're going to be, you know, you're going to be happy with whatever I give you. He legit cares as much about it as you do. I promise you that.
Andy would do much better in my memories. I was just looking at this. What is it? Last year, here is the promotional for our Christmas episode, and I'm sure he could have done way better.
Well, again, he's the photographer, Brady. You got to do the creative stuff with the gingerbread. You can't. Although I see the tush. I see the
you see Buttle the cat making
Buttle the
Christmas
cat there. Yeah,
last year.
That's impressive, Brady. He's been supposed to do a band picture, but I keep telling him I want to lose 30 pounds before he does the photo shoot, and then 6 months later it's like, okay, now I need to lose 40 pounds, and then 6 months later, okay, 45 pounds. So he's been very patient with that.
So at this rate, you might get those pictures taken in 2055.
Right. One more. Am I the asshole? Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to make Christmas morning breakfast for my family? Background. 24-year-old male, was the only one interested in baking, so I got all my grandmother's recipes when she passed away. For the past 11 years, I've been making her Christmas bread, a braided cardamom loaf. What the hell's cardamom? Never heard of it. Cardamom loaf.
How
For
do you
breakfast.
spell that?
Cardamom. Cardamom.
That's a seasoning of some kind, I believe. I've seen it on a spice rack before.
Spice used in the kitchen. Yes.
Okay. I never heard of a cardamom bread.
It's belonging to the ginger family.
Okay. So my first
Gingerbread.
question after paragraph 1. He's 24 now and he's been baking 11 years. So he started when he was 13. Or is that how you guys took that? For the past 11 years, I've been baking. Okay. That's interesting. That may come into play later. Who knows? When I got to my parents' house this morning, I had 2 pies with me, which I made for dessert. I asked that they not be touched as I hadn't had time to taste test them. And I wanted to make sure they were good. I then went to the store to get the ingredients for the mentioned Christmas bread and some tofu takeout for myself. I'm a vegetarian. And my family doesn't serve any main dishes without meat. I wish I wouldn't have picked this one. When I got back, both pies were gone, to the point where my mother had already washed the dishes for me, so I didn't have to bring back dirty dishes. I was, I think, understandably pretty upset. I didn't get to even taste either one, much less have a slice. And they ate both before dinner as well. It evolved into an argument pretty quickly because they've done things like this before. I almost didn't get a slice of my own birthday cake because I was cleaning up from baking it. And I just wanted at least an acknowledgement that they should have waited for me to start eating my pies. They refused and said they were perfectly in their rights to do so, as the pies were my payment for staying with them and eating their food. I told them that if the pies were my payment, then I obviously didn't need to make the Christmas bread, Christmas brebs, and they could do it themselves. They acted like I had told them Christmas was canceled. I tried to backtrack a bit and told them that my mom could make it because she did until I started helping my grandmother, and that the ingredients were already bought. I've been called entitled, spoiled, and accused of actually ruining our family Christmas. I get that they were expecting me to make it, but it's not like they are out of options for food tomorrow. I've been hiding in my car for the past half an hour. That sounds like something a vegan would do. Trying to figure out if I was in the wrong and should I make it or not. So, am I the asshole? Edit. I ended up getting all my stuff and heading to a nearby friend. My house is a couple hours away. We made the Christmas bread together and drank a bit, so it's not my best Christmas bread. Are you getting flashbacks to the first one? Like the points that this guy's making are not. Edit 2. I've had a couple questions about how long I was at the store and if anyone else brought anything. I was gone maybe an hour and 15 minutes. They're pretty far from a good grocery store, and the first place I went to didn't have any good cherries. Now the cherries come into it. He didn't even bring up the cherries earlier. Everyone usually brings an appetizer or side or dessert, so there were also other desserts there. And I've been messaging a cousin who got there around when I got back, and it appears there were 12 people plus my parents there when I got back. I guess I was a bit distracted. Dine on that, if you will.
I'll say what I said about the first one. I don't even know where to start with that.
A lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I'm speechless for a moment.
Well, I'm not,
So-
but I'm going to try to.
So he was just staying with them over Christmas. It wasn't like he lived there.
Right.
Okay. And then these are his parents.
Right.
Okay.
Who I'm sure when he was younger, I'm sure he ate something out of line that he shouldn't have eaten or ate too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I have this weird, I have this weird, like, respect your elders, respect your parents thing that happens where, again, I'm like, this story from this person, 24-year-old male, is more about them being vegan and more about how they didn't respect his veganism and how they did than anything.
See, and I didn't take it from that. I mean, he mentioned he was vegan, and he mentioned that they have stuff that has meat in it all the time, but it was mostly about them eating the pies that he made, right? And he didn't get any of the pie.
Okay, well, and you're right, but why mention he's vegan? What does that have to do with the pie? They're not meat pies.
it's not minced meat pie.
He's not,
Not
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. Just Sweeney Todd and mincemeat pie.
And here's the funny thing. He says, well, hang on a minute. Well, first off, I thought the pies were kind of tossed upon us. Like he's talking about this brebs he makes, how it's this great brebs. He's got his
And he
grandma's
hit us with
recipe.
this pie.
And then he hits us with this, they ate my pie when I'm gone. Well, aren't you the bread boy? I mean, like you bring your bread and shut up. Don't worry about it. Your pies were the opening band. Your pies weren't even the headliner, kid.
Kid.
You went to get your ingredients for your pies. He bitches about that, about their location. They're not within 2 hours of anywhere to buy good bread ingredients. And
They're
he's going to be
unwashed
mad.
flyover people. That's the subtext I got.
He comes back. He comes back with all of the ingredients, all the weaponry to make the brebs. And he's going to decide that because he comes back and the pies were gone, which he's not known for making, and Grandma wasn't known for making, and he's all of a sudden going to get offended they ate his pies. I can understand had he made the brebs and they didn't eat that. They didn't eat it.
No pun intended, but purely intended. He was loafing when he was ingredient getting. He took too long.
He did. He did. Well, first off, who comes to a get together that far away? It was his parents' house. He knows the breb ingredient situation. Who doesn't come with the armed with the ingredients they need?
Especially if he's flying in from New York or someplace like that.
Uppanyville, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will start out by saying this person doing this post most likely is a ponce.
Thank you, Eric.
Let's just
allow you to use my word.
Let's just establish that as the baseline. However, if the comment was truly made, the food that you make is your basically hotel fee. That's a bit harsh. I would not tell my 24-year-old that. Not that he's baking things. Definitely not.
PJ, if you're listening, start baking, buddy.
Yeah, right.
PJ's not making a persimmon loaf or whatever.
Right. That's pretty harsh.
But Eric, let's play that with. I agree. But if you were getting bitched at by your kid for not saying, I mean, do you think that was just them finally saying, "All right, asshole, you brought it here.
Put that in your heart and smoke it."
Okay. So if let's say I take mac and cheese to a family get together, and I don't get any of my mac and cheese. Did I bring it for me?
No.
Well, he could make his darn carnaba loaf whenever he wants to.
He can make his pie that he's not even known for making. He's a bread maker. He's a bread boy.
He's to stay in his lane.
Right. You can't. If you're a bread maker, you don't just cross over into the pie lane.
Not in this family.
So I can see. I think these "Am I the assholes" should be more point counterpoint, because there should be the counterpoint from the parents. Here is what was said about me. Yes, a rebuttal. Here is what I have to say to that, because I think, and again, poncery is the baseline, and that's where this guy is.
Poncism.
Poncism.
I get myself in trouble here in a
I,
second.
I think these parents are saying to themselves, "How did we raise a Ponce like this?"
Right. Well, here's how. You let him bake the bread for 11 years from the age of 13 on, when mom should have been making, or dad, whoever's mom it was who passed the bread recipe down should have been making the bread all these years. When you let your 13-year-old be in charge of brebs
If
for
they're
11
talented
years,
at it,
you can't expect him at 24 to be an even Steven.
Well, I mean, the Poncery is not about bread making here.
But I think the Poncery was created by the bread making.
That may have been.
I
the
bet
seeds of it,
he was
yes.
walking around the
Let me-
kitchen with a Yanni CD on and Chablis, and he was making this
I like
bread.
Yanni, damn it. Okay. Let me
Nothing
read to you the
against
most
Yanni, but I'm just saying.
Let me read to you the most important 3 sentences in this whole thing. For the past 11 years, I've been making her Christmas bread, a braided cardamom loaf. First off, no 24-year-old should know what the hell cardamom is. But I digress. For the past 11 years, I have been making her Christmas bread, a braided cardamom loaf for breakfast Christmas morning. So what he is expected to make, his duty for 11 years, his keep in this family, his means of living within these people's realm, is he makes this bread. Right? Is that what you
Right.
took there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Next sentence. When I got to my parents' house this morning, I had 2 pies with me I made for dessert. The hell you do? You have pies with you? You're the bread maker? You're known for making the bread. We've designated you as bread boy for 11 years, and you're bringing pies, and all of us, but you're going to leave for hours and say, don't touch my pies that I'm not known for making? This would be a whole different story if they ate his bread without saving some for him, which he's known for. I'm pissed. I'm pissed about these pies.
That's just, and I'm not disagreeing. That's just a strange hill to die on.
It
Like,
is.
well,
Or my hill or his hill.
well, a little bit, but a little bit your hill, because like I would say that I would be less ticked that they ate my bread because that's what I'm famous for. But don't get all we don't want them all loose in their Yule holes because they dined on my like they killed through my pies real fast. I'm known for the bread. Yes, eat that. I can make that anytime. But this pie,
Look,
I
okay,
wanted
so
some of
Brady,
that.
let's say I'm coming to your house and I say, okay, I am a renowned steak maker, a steaker. And I say, okay, Brady, I showed up at your house. I have the meat. I have a trunk full of meat.
What level of steakery are we talking about?
I'm talking like I am. I mean, I've been doing 11 years. My grandma
He's an
passed
expert
down.
beefist.
Yes, I am a beefaroni. And I say, okay, guys, the steak that I'm known for, you guys are waiting on it. I've been doing it 11 years. There's no question about who's making the steak, but I need some things because it's not all here. So I brought some hot dogs as well to tide you over. And I go out and I get all the things I need to make the steak, and I come back and all the hot dogs are gone. Do I have any right to be pissed because the hot dogs are gone?
Now presented like that, no.
That's what he did. He presented it. Hey,
Well,
I'm
did
the
he
bread
say
maker.
I brought these pies and tied you over while
But actually, he said
that's important. That
Well, he didn't
changes my
say that.
mind.
But why do you bring pies when you're the bread boy? You don't. I mean,
I think this person,
would be-
as Gary says here, I think this person fancies themselves a chef.
okay.
And I think in the area of chefery, the chef wants to be the first one to taste test the wares.
But he's been tasting it for 11 years. You can't tell me he hasn't eaten the bread. Now, if he said, Eric, had he said, for 11 years, I've slaved over this bread and I've never even gotten to sniff it. Never gotten to sniff this bread my grandma passed down to me. So please, as I go out and get more ingredients that your podunk town doesn't have,
Leave
save
me
me
a
a slice
slice,
of
you
bread.
heathens.
Yes, that would be one thing. But hey, I'm the bread guy. I got some pies. I'm gonna go get some ingredients for the bread I make.
Okay. So here's what I'm seeing here. All right. Now tell me if you're seeing this. Parents live in a place such as we do here, and this Ponce had to go to Whole Foods in Kenwood.
It's the pie pots.
Had to go to Whole Foods in Kenwood to get the proper.
To get the free range cardamom.
Exactly. And, I mean, are we on the same wavelength here?
Yes.
It was ground by a fair market grinder.
But he throws that little dig in there too. Did you catch that? He threw that dig how they don't live near anywhere where they can get the bread. If this bread is so special, well, okay. Another thing is, Eric, I have a feeling if I invited you over, and I said, Eric, you are in charge of the salad.
Yep. Which is a good thing to put me in charge of, because I would make sure that is either all fruit or all lettuce. So thank you. I will be in charge.
No
of the
bacon
salad.
bits, no egg slices, no cheese.
I'm talking bases here.
Right.
Bases.
But my point
He's
is,
not
if you
throwing crab apples and peaches on it.
If you came to the get together and you were the salad guy, and for 11 years you have brought salad,
right?
And for whatever reason you said, okay, guys, don't panic. I'm still going to bring the salad, but I got to go get a couple things that I didn't have. But I've left some pinwheels. I've left some pinwheels here in my stead, in the salad stead. Would you really get pissed if you came back and the pinwheels were gone? I don't think you would.
On this hill, if that's what he intended, I guess it just makes a difference to me that he said, "Here, I'm leaving this. Dine on this so I can make the thing that you really want." If he did that, then he needs to shut his cardamom hole.
Yeah.
But if he was hungry and said, "Hey, I'm going to be right back," and it was gone, like the hounds of Baskerville, they're and it's like all gone.
Well, I'm gonna be right back from my trip to Bexley to Whole Foods.
Yes,
stuff that I need
because I'm a vegan. And I can't go to Martin's and buy some pie freaking filling or
to get the
some
hand ground cardamom from Liechtenstein.
Exactly. That I like. Yeah. If Terry Martin doesn't have cardamom, I don't need that cardamom. I don't need that in my bread.
Gives him time to listen to his Barbara Streisand's greatest hits as he's just driving around looking for it.
Yeah. But another thing, this is what gets me. When I got back, both pies were gone. And this somebody's going to bitch about, to the point where my mother had already washed the dishes for me. You know what?
The nerve.
Thank you, Mom. Say thank you, Mom. Now I don't have to take dirty dishes back because vegan hands can't probably handle the dishes, the dishwater.
See, and that is something I could totally see Linda Liming doing. She would wash her dishes.
Right. Yeah, that's because that's what moms do.
Yes.
They enjoy the pie.
I'm sure Sandy Griffin would do too.
Because they enjoy the pie, they put in the work of cleaning the pie pan.
That's cardamom that's hand ground, that's ran and filtered through Dalmatian hair. Because if it's ran through anything else, it doesn't taste the same. It's got to go through Dalmatian hair.
Brady's stuck on this cardamom.
Gosh.
First off, that sounds made up anyway. And I don't want your vegan ass bread that has cardamom on it. You know what I want on my bread? Cinnamon and banana and maybe a couple nuts. You asshole. So just make your bread.
These nuts will go right on that bread.
Yeah. Do you know what the root word of cardamom is? Mom. So give her a kiss and thank her, you piece of crap.
We are kidding, by the way. This was a rant that got fun.
I'm not kidding that I think he's wrong. I think he's the asshole.
Yeah.
But true to Reddit, they don't think he's an asshole. Because you can talk to your parents.
Get out of here.
You can talk to your parents however you want. I mean, it's all about you and your. If they don't respect your veganism, then they're wrong and you're right.
Brady, are you actually surprised at that?
No,
It's Reddit.
I mean, all the residents of Ponsopolis must be Redditors.
Reddit is to the left of Lenin.
Yeah. Except it's like Stockdale. I mean, they're clueless.
Right.
Super Dave has a good point.
Well, I want to put this up by Gary first here. Says I feel like I'm watching a flashback to what could have been a writers' meeting for Seinfeld, maybe an episode that didn't air too controversial. I'm honored at that quote there.
Yes.
Okay, so Super Dave, this one, where pie's the only food to eat because you made it sound like it is. To eat dinner entirely without their son, then devour the pies as well. What would that say about the family?
That's a great point.
That is a great point.
However, here's what I picture, and we can only go with the context of the story. They didn't eat dinner without him. This was a deal where they were having their dinner. He's known as the bread guy, so he goes out to get the ingredients, and they eat the pie while he's gone. Now, that's a good point in that's a bit weird, eating dessert first.
Maybe
but since it doesn't
pie out of spite because he was taking so long.
Maybe so. Maybe,
and that's the pie maker. Shouldn't he have known to bring the cardamom from his Tony suburbs that he was coming into the unwashed country for?
Right. Doesn't he have the cardamom in a little baggie in the pocket of his alpaca jersey knit sweater? Does he not grow it on his deck? I mean, I don't understand.
Or something else. I mean,
yeah, but that's a great point. You both bring up a good point. Andy, it didn't say anything about like the dinner was eaten, so I have to assume they hadn't eaten dinner yet. But Brady, that's a great point. Why does he not come with cardamom? He's been doing this 11 years. He sounds ill-equipped. And to be honest with you, he sounds a little bit burnt out.
He doesn't want to make the cardamom bread.
Yeah, there's a giant. Have you ever seen that statue? Atlas, where he's holding the weight. This guy has statue in his little bird bath is him holding 2 big loaves of cardamom bread, and the birds sup seed and water on his back because.
Well, but and you guys are. I mean, we're all reasonable. How many people are in the room? Have we scared everybody off yet?
No, we actually went up 113.
They're probably
always wondered,
load of these guys.
The longer we go, the better. I mean, so here's. Hang on a minute, Riley. Oh, I just realized what she's saying. So here's my point. I promised my daughter.
Did you promise a movie?
I promised Good Burger after the podcast. But Riley, if you're listening along, make me proud, baby. What about this guy? So he's been making cardamom bread, which, by the way, is not a common ingredient. So you have to assume that he has cardamom in stock at his house.
He had to drive to San Francisco to get it.
Right. So if you are, I think the thing we're all missing here is he's done it 11 years. This has been his lot in the family. Now, if it were something like, okay, I got to my folks' house, I could have sworn they would have cinnamon because everybody has cinnamon. And I get there and they were out of cinnamon. So I had to go get cinnamon. But it's cardamom. Nobody has cardamom in their cupboard. And there's not a lazy Susan in America that spins and presents cardamom.
Or a slovenly Betty. None of them.
So can I read you the description of cardamom?
Yes.
Cardamom, spice consisting of whole or ground dried fruits or seeds of the Eltora cardamomium, a herbaceous perennial plant of the ginger family. The seeds have a warm, slightly pungent, and highly aromatic flavor, somewhat reminiscent of camphor. They are
That's
popular
exactly what I want in
seasoning.
bread.
Like Campo Finique?
That's
They are-
exactly what I want in my bread. I want a pungent bread that's going to attack my orifices.
I want a Vicks Vapo bread. That's exactly what I want, and that's what you
Right.
just described.
Right.
They are popular seasoning in South Asian dishes, particularly curries, and in Scandinavian pastries.
Well, do you guys? I just thought of something. Do you realize he never even said what kind of pies these were? These pungent pies?
Yeah.
Maybe he's putting the same pungentness in the pies.
Mm.
Maybe they
that's
ate them
why
to
he
get rid
ran
of
it.
them. Maybe they didn't eat them. Maybe they threw them away.
And
No,
washed all
they
evidence
were
of it away off the
probably
dishes.
Andoran cashew that was with soy milk that was hand melted by Belgian lasses and put it. Yeah. Oh,
We got Brady's dander up with all this.
I hate this guy. I don't even know him, but I hate this guy.
who, me or him?
No, this guy.
Yeah,
This guy's
there's something about this guy that's
There
just
is.
a burr in my
Wait,
saddle.
do you know what? I think this cocky asshole says, "Hey, I'm the bread guy, but I'm going to bring pies, even though I'm not the pie guy, because I'm so renowned as the bread guy that anything I bring shall be worshipped and put up on a pedestal and looked at for 2 hours while I go out and shop at Whole Foods, while you guys sit there salivating at the pies I
And
bought.
dining
but you
and
can't touch
supping
'em.
shall stop; it shall cease, while I go into the hard country and I look for this magical thing. When I arrive on my golden ship and you all bow down and worship me, I will make your loaves and you will love me more.
Right. Right. Yeah. This guy has this guy's got a god complex. I can tell. He does.
Speaking of that, we had kind of toned down, then we wound up again, and Andy's like, "Oh God, here we go."
Well, I never thought I could get so fired up over pies and bread, but he has to understand he's
Wait
in
a
the
minute.
minority. The cardamom bread is such a delicacy.
Didn't we do a half a bracket that got us fired up about pies?
Right.
Oh,
Eric, what do you think? You're the
you're the
damn still up.
malcontent that you're like that when
What
it
if it were
comes to these.
cardamom cheesecake?
Cardamom cheesecake pie.
Do you know what I already said this. I'm going back. Mom is the root word in cardamom, and so he should be
See,
respectful.
And that's what I'm saying. This guy is the Ponce that would make a cheesecake and say, "Hey, look at my cheesecake, cardamom cheesecake pie."
Look at my cardamom cheesecake.
My
It's
creme
freshly
delish.
shorn. The cardamom is freshly shorn from the Caribbean. I shorn it myself.
So, Gary says maybe they were confused by the introduction of pie to their gathering. What is the baked dish upon a base of pastry?
Right. Well, you know what, Gary? I could understand the confusion. When your bread son comes into the house and he's carrying pie, you're like, "What's up, bread son? You're supposed to be. Why are you carrying pie? You're the bread son." And the bread son's like, "Oh,
confectionery
well,
daughter's job."
So,
it's the donut daughter who should be bringing the." So you don't say, "Here's the
pastry
pies. Here's the pies. I'm going to set them on the table. I'm gone for 2 hours. By the way, you guys live in Crapville. I can't even get fresh cardamom. Order it from Amazon."
I bet
Thug.
your water
You-
is not filtered through the hands of 10-year-old Alsatian mountain children.
Or how about hand ground by the hooves of mountain goats? The very rock goat that lived at Ripley, the Ripley rocks, Brady. You know what I'm talking about. When you're taking the exit to go to Ripley, and you had the rock goats that just hung on the edge there.
Yeah,
They freshly ground that cardamom with their hooves.
they're sanitized by aloe hooves.
Yeah, this has been my least favorite guy ever on Am I the Asshole?
Oh,
But
and I think you talked yourself into hating him.
well, I just have a problem with if he okay. Let's say this is how the story started. My grandma's recipe has been passed down, and we've all taken a turn at it, and we just can't quite perfect it. So I'm going to have my go at it this year. But since we're all trying real hard, I brought some pies. But no, he says, for 11 years, I have been the bread maker.
I have been the bread man.
Yeah, 11
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
I mean, what is the 10,000 hours thing? The 10,000 hours, but I think he's put 10,000 hours in 11 years making this bread.
Yeah.
Or minutes or whatever it is, 10,000 something or another.
Asshole.
It was fun. It was therapeutic getting us all lathered up.
Yeah, my dater's up.
Oh, my ears are pinned back.
Hey, next Bengals game we get together and watch. Next Bengals game we get together and watch, I'm making cardamom bread. Actually, I'm just going to put a bunch of cardamom on a plate and you guys can just snort
I'll
it because
bring
I can't
2
make
pies
bread.
and watch everybody go at it.
But
and
again, what kind of pies?
And I will
I don't know, but
I will subsequently pollute your basement bathroom.
but I'm gonna run to Beaver Creek.
Got a case of the cardamom craps.
Boy,
my throat will get all swollen with cardamoms.
So imagine that you got cardamom that well, let me go back. What was it? Slightly pungent camphophenique.
That's what I said.
Would be soiling your restroom. Imagine the feeling of that coming out.
Do you know? Oh, I just realized something. Do you know why they ate that pie? Because they've hated that bread for 11 years.
Exactly.
And
That's what it
a
is.
team for the memory of Grandma.
Right, well, exactly. But no. But finally, he brought some pies
That were edible.
in the bread's stead. Yes, that are edible. So they got their chance for some nice sweet confectionaries without having to wait for the
Probably
bread.
Vic's liniment pie, knowing this guy.
Gosh. Yeah, I guarantee you it tastes like metal.
Paper trails coming off of it.
Yeah. I bet it tastes like blood and Sour Patch Kids.
So you're saying I could take a slab of this pie and just rub it on my chest and cure my cold?
Not the pie, the bread.
Oh, the bread, yeah, right.
Yeah,
The
the
bread.
pies are apparently
You
good.
got to make the pie miserable too.
Yeah, right.
Well, bottom line, first off, okay, I understand if you say, hey, I respect my grandma, and I'll be the breadwinner. I'll be the one who makes grandma's bread. But I'll be honest with you. If you at 13 decide you want to be in charge of the bread, that says a lot about you. You have no business being in charge of bread at 13. You have no business being in charge of bread at 24.
Fair.
I'm 47, and I have no business being in charge of bread.
I have a former student. Oh my gosh, I had her in 5th grade, and she is now in 21. If she's one of my most memorable students ever. She was so cool, but she was the best kid ever. Never any trouble. But if she even came up to the line where her mom had to discipline her, they would ground her from the Food Network because at 5th grade she was like baking and everything, and I was like, wait, oh, step back. Called juvenile detention. They would ground her by not letting her watch her Food Network shows because she would practice baking and everything. She is an exception.
Everyone has their thing.
Yes.
So, Todd, you made the comment, no 24-year-old should know what cardamom is. So I texted my 24-year-old, do you know what cardamom is? His response, I do not. So my faith in humanity and my parenting is restored.
Right.
So Gary says, Richard Marks and the bread guy.
I tell you, Gary, I mean, you know I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I think I could take both of those guys.
At the same time.
And I don't even care that Richard Marks married Daisy Fuentes. Do you know what I worry? I kind of half look forward to, half worry about is that the historian is going to bring Richard Marx on our show.
Yeah, I'm here for that show.
Yeah, I mean, I have to assume he's pretty intelligent. I think I could take him. But you guys, I wouldn't be able to tag you guys in. See, that's the thing.
Right. Would you need to? I'd be concerned about you if you needed to.
Well, I mean, you guys are much better at political, like history, like that type of stuff than me, and I'd have to control myself. I think I could. As far as insults, I think I got him because I'm pretty sure his brain wouldn't go where mine goes. But that might hurt me. You know, I might come off as like one of these guys. I might come off as the asshole.
Fun. Andy says if you would ask me what cardamom was, I would have said like I don't know, a sweater.
Exactly.
That does have a cardigan sound to it.
It does.
Gary says, if not Richard Marx, maybe we get the bread guy on the podcast.
That would be fun. We should talk about that behind the scenes about trying to find these Reddit people and bringing them on our show to like plead their case. That would be an awesome. Is there a podcast out there that does that?
I don't know.
We might have just stumbled across something, guys.
I think you could do that. I mean, they got their Reddit handle right there at the beginning of the story, right?
Right. I mean,
message them in Reddit, say, hey, you put this story up here. We'd like to talk to you about it. Right.
We could be the modern day Jerry Springers.
Yeah. Well, you may be onto something there.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about that. And Andy likes it. Chris, you're right. Richard Marx looks like a half clean Charlie Sheen.
That'd be a great band name, Half Clean Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. Well, if Richard Marx is listening, I'll throw down the gauntlet. I've told you guys.
We love your music,
but here's the problem. I loved his music until I saw him live, and then when I saw him live, well, first off, Pat Benatar kicked his ass. And when I saw him live, it was the very next week when he was on Twitter, basically, if you disagree with me politically, please don't buy my concert tickets and stuff like that. I just spent like $170 on.
Don't you wish you had seen that tweet the week before?
I do. I would have sold my tickets, and that's what bothers me.
I would have still gone.
Yeah,
and I would have worn a shirt or something.
I would have thrown some cardamom in his face.
So, fellas, we're nearing 3 hours here because we've been ranting about this bread guy.
Wow. Is this a record?
It might be.
I believe it could be.
We've just literally went on for 40 minutes about cardamom bread. That even outdid the coleslaw factor.
I think that explains us, though, better than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
I still bring up my buddy Brad Berger from Abe Lincoln when he first chimed in or tuned into us, and he said, I listened to a 25-minute conversation about coleslaw. And I said, you're welcome. That's pretty much what we do.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And here's what's sadder. Is sadder a word?
Yeah. More sad.
At least Gary has been here for almost three hours.
I mean, other people duck in and out, but
right. How many do we have right now?
Well, we went down to 8. Now we're back up to 11. So.
It goes to 11. With that,
I think what we meant to say, folks, is Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And we love you all. Thank you very much for spending your time with us. We can't say how much we appreciate it. We love doing this, and we love it even more that you're listening.
Yes.
And for those listening later, because we know there are way more people that listen later than that are at the during the live part. So we thank everybody who's listening.
Jackie and Justin and all those people that I know listen, but just not live. Thank you very much.
I didn't know if my dad still listened, but then the other day I was talking to him and he said, "Hey, why did you guys get cut off last week?" I was like, "Well,
I'm telling you, there are all kinds of people that loom in the shadows."
I was in the middle of an impassioned speech, and then Eric cut us off.
Streamlabs cut us off. But,
no, I was in the middle of a stall. Is what I was in the middle of.
So I'm trying to edit all that and get it all uploaded.
Laura's been here for 3 hours, folks.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Laura.
Yes, thank you. But I put a voiceover at the end of that drastic cutoff and kind of did a wrap up sort of thing. And so I'm trying to get that uploaded, but I'll upload that and then I'll upload this episode next week closer to Christmas. That's my plan. So yes.
Well, and I want to say, like, that's awesome, Gary. And I believe we're in talks with Gary. We may have an announcement to make after the first of the year for our second world-renowned live episode. Live.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind if you're listening. We will be looking at doing a live. We'll have more details, and we'll just say that Gary is going to be involved. And so we have a venue, and we're looking forward to it. Because the last live event we did, I got to be honest with you, I still think about that. That was awesome.
Oh, it was.
Beyond
Beyond my wildest dreams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got cake. I think it had some cardamom icing on it. And and the biggest thing is we had like 50 people out there looking at us, waiting for us to say funny things. And
although I did have to check my daughter's book bag to make sure she didn't take the cut out of Buttle the cat to school like she said she was going to, so that provided a little stress.
I used to have Buttle the cat right behind me. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he got moved for Christmas.
I think I've got Buttle the cat behind me.
You got Buttle the cat behind you?
Somewheres.
Where's Buttle? Uh-oh, I'm getting dizzy.
I know. It's the Blair Witch podcast.
It's the Blair Buttle podcast.
It's in one of those episode posters that we used to get.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I mean, everybody agrees that Blair was the foxiest one on Facts of Life, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the way I said foxiest.
Foxy lady.
Eric is coming unglued. He's glued back now. He's glued again.
There we go.
Look at the top of the tree for Buttle. I don't think he's in here anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Again, look at our overlay up here. This is where you can see us. This is where you can find us. Like and follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch, Rumble,
Twitch.
iHeartRadio and the iHeartRadio app, socials, Facebook, X, and Instagrams. And with that, again, next week, have a very Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. We will see you again in January. I'm kind of going off the cuff there. I'm assuming that's what we're doing, right, gentlemen?
January. Yeah.
January. All right. We'll see you in 2025. Todd,
thank you guys for a great year. I'd say our next episode will be like an introduction to the new year, right?
Sure. Why not?
Sure.
No, we gotta perform the pie.
That's right. The pie has been postponed.
All right. Somebody take us out.
See you, Super Dave. See you, Gary. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Laura. Everybody who's on there. Thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.